Holy fuck, we're late. We didn't even notice. We were just sitting here shooting the shit. I don't know what happened. I blacked out. Hold on, I'm clicking record on the thing. This is insanity. Aaron, why didn't you tell me earlier that we were so late?
I just did.
Yeah, you told me 7 minutes late.
Yeah, but I told you that I was the one who called it out. Let's be honest here. I'm the one who actually has situational awareness of time.
He's the only responsible one here.
Yeah. So in place of Nick tonight, I have a suppressed short-barreled rifle, and honestly, I'm enjoying it a lot more.
It probably smells better.
Just a
and we'll poop less.
It's thinner. It's way thinner for sure.
Hello, YouTube. This is our unedited show. Anything goes. There's going to be cursing, cussing, profanity, and swearing. I get it. Like, maybe you don't want to hear that. Maybe you want to listen with your kids and, revel in everything that is WLS. If that's the case, just go to Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, TuneUp, whatever, Spotify, Pandora. We're everywhere. Everywhere. You can't get away from us. But if you want to hear the audio podcast version with no bleeps whatsoever, you have to join the Gun Cult, and that's at theguncult.com. Aaron?
Yes.
You are going to do the ad read, sir.
I cannot wait to be able to do the ad read. Let me start right now. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do it right now. This episode of the We Like Shooting Show is brought to you by Faxon Firearms, Swamp Fox Optics, Black Rhino Concealment, Bowers Group, Franklin Armory, and Brownells.
Welcome to the We Like Shooting Show, episode 352. Tonight we're going to talk about 224 Valkyrie, Glock 43, reloading revisited, window tinting, hacking equipment rucksack, Chile SIG clone, bug assault, 3D printing, control pew, and more. Our panel tonight is Jeremy Pozderac from River's Edge Tactical and Range. We got Aaron Krieger checking in from Michigan. We've got Savage 1R checking in from the communist state of Washington. My name is Shawn Heron. Nick Lynch is dead, and I want to welcome you all to the show. Oh, boy. I rushed it because we're running late. We're in a fucking hurry right now, guys.
Well, you know what? I think Savage took exception to the calling Washington State communistic.
Oh, a little bit. I'm on the east side of Washington State.
What does that mean?
It's like saying all Michigan is Detroit. It's not. There's just Detroit's Detroit. Michigan, the rest of Michigan's not a shithole.
Yeah. Seattle is communist. Eastern Washington, which is basically 70% of the rest of the state, is not.
I feel like we're playing degrees of separation.
Or it's like saying all of Ohio is a shithole because all of Ohio makes tires.
I mean, it's Ohio
is a shithole, actually.
They don't sell liquor anywhere but at the liquor stores.
Ohio. Yo, who the fuck is Shawn? You got to go to the liquor store to buy beer.
What? Dude, I just go to the grocery store to buy beer.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, we can go to the grocery store, buy beer, liquor,
literally
wine.
couldn't get beer at a gas station.
I got Buffalo Trace from Safeway today.
See, that's awesome. We had to drive to another town to get whiskey in Jeremy State.
Right, because
we had to go to the liquor store to get beer at your place. We couldn't just go to the gas station across the street.
Oh, well, we actually have changed the laws since you were here because we knew you were going to complain about them. So now you can buy beer at the gas station.
And weed. Go figure.
Yeah. It's not in Colorado Springs. You have to go to
high and prostitutes.
Wait, what? There's prostitutes?
Isn't there?
I heard there's actually prostitutes everywhere. You just don't know it.
I mean, for the right price.
Right.
And like way more people do cocaine than you know.
Probably.
I mean, what now? I almost would like to know who I do know that does cocaine.
I read something somewhere was like way more people do cocaine than you think.
I actually don't think that I know anybody anymore who does cocaine.
Yeah, cocaine seems like so like 1990s.
Jeremy's like, you know me.
I wish. I wouldn't even. I'd be
Could
like,
you imagine?
I wouldn't even know what to try drugs. I'd just be like, hey, does anybody here got any drugs? I want drugs. Drugs? Anybody? Drugs?
Nobody's.
Yeah. All right.
That's such bullshit. All right. Before we get into things. All right. We're going to talk about Swamp Fox Optics. Dude, I almost feel like they're putting out products faster than we can do shows, which is kind of crazy. Did you guys see that today they announced the pre-sales are going up for the Sentinel?
No.
Savage has an LPV. Oh, there. Is that the Arrowhead Tomahawk?
This is the
Tomahawk.
Tomahawk, yes.
Yeah. Arrowhead has black text on the back. So the Sentinel actually just came out, which is it's basically the concealed carry optic. It fits RMSC cuts. There's going to be two of them. Now, I want to hear which one you guys would actually pick. So there is the Shake Awake manual brightness, and there's also the always on brightness adjust ambient light. So it's always on and adjust ambient light. So which would you guys rather have? Shake Awake, manual brightness, or ambient brightness and always on?
Shake Awake.
Shake Awake.
Why not all of the above?
One of
Because they're
each.
two separate models, yeah. Now,
Oh.
Savage and Jeremy, why would you guys want the Shake Awake more?
Because it's like a baby. Oh, wait,
I
that's Shake
don't
Asleep.
know. I
Never
don't- I
mind.
I like Shake Awake. I like that it conserves batteries and all that shit. I don't trust the electronics, any of them, to put it at the setting that I want it.
I think that's fair. Savage, how about you?
Yeah, I've got a Hollow Sun, the one with the solar panel, and it's Shake Awake, and it's always worked absolutely perfectly, and it's always at the brightness that I left it at. So
Yeah, so in the Liberty, I have the Shake Awake version with the manual brightness adjustment, and I actually really love it. So I reached out to our buddy Matt Landfair from primary and secondary, and I was like, hey, if you were faced with these two choices, what would you pick and why? And he said that always on, but he wants always on manual brightness, which is not offered. And I said, why? And he said, well, because I want it always on. I don't want to be messing around with Shake Awake or anything. And I want to set it at whatever I want to set it. I don't think that auto brightness is fast enough for quick light changes if you're in lethal force encounters and things like that.
I've
So-
literally never had to fuck with Shake Awake. It just is on.
Yeah. So I do love the Shake Awake. For the Sentinel, I did order the one version just so I could. I ordered the always on version just so I could give it a look. I'm going to put it on a 6-hour P365 XL. I also have the Canic subcompact coming in that has the.
shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck
Yeah,
up.
I'm going to throw them on both of those, and we're going to see. It's going to be pretty awesome.
I
And-
want that subcompact.
Swamp Fox Optics, man. Go check them out. Liberty. I have also got the mechanical armor for the Liberty, which is that stainless steel shroud that goes around the red dot for the pistol, which
I
is,
want that. I want that.
dude, it's actually going to be pretty cool
I
because
want that.
I got it. I got it on.
Can I get one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got it on, and I seriously think that thing's going to be awesome. Like, I have a feeling I'm going to be able to drop it from really great heights, and it's going to be just fine. So I totally dig that. Go check out Swamp Fox Optics. They are at swampfoxoptics.com. Coupon code WLS is life, saves you 25% all day, every day. And that takes that new Sentinel down to just a little bit over $200, which for a compact red dot. And I've shot it. I don't have a ton of experience with it so far, but what I've seen, I really liked. It's got a huge window and a very small signature, and it fits that RMSC cut. And if you want something that fits RMR, go look at the Liberty and Justice red dots. All right, so let's go ahead, introduce our guest. He prints guns and shows people that they're in charge of their own freedom. Please welcome Control Pew, aka Alex. What's up, man?
Not much, dude.
All right, so I don't even know where to start. I guess first of all, tell us, what is Control Pew?
So Control Pew is my sort of digital identity. We talk about printing guns. We sort of help other people get started, not necessarily in printing, but in printing guns, but just printing in general. And how to use this tool, this new technology, how to use it well, how to get reliable prints, and then reliable prints you can turn into things like firearms.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I guess let's go all the way back to the beginning. Tell us how you came to firearms. Like, how did that become a part of your life?
Oh, geez. Well, I never had much experience when I was a kid around firearms. Like, they were there, they were just not present like they would be here. And it was always sort of interesting to me because I was always sort of a mechanically inclined or mechanically interested. So I wound up joining the Army through some weird backstory that we won't get into. But I joined as a supply clerk, and as a supply clerk, I became an armorer. And then as I started messing with the firearms that were available to me there, I developed more and more of a mechanical interest in firearms in general, and the technology and the manufacturing and all the sort of mechanical functions of them. And that sort of evolved over time into now we print guns.
Yeah. So when did you start like 3D printing? How did you come to that?
Well, this was 3D printing was always something I was interested in. Sort of comes back from my youth and the sort of the tech space that I was in. So I had built some of the very first. They were called rep wraps back in the day. 3D printers. They were entirely built at home, and you find someone you knew who had one, or you make friends with somebody, and they'd print you all the plastic linkages to put it together to build it. So that was my first printer, and then I sort of set it aside for a while. I saw the Liberator video in 2013 from Defense Distributed, and that sort of brought me into the printing gun space. And then up until probably last year, I just sort of lurked from the shadows and watched what was going on. And then about June last year, I started to take a more active interest and active role in building stuff.
Well, tell us when you say active interest, like what changed?
I mean, really, just my sort of life situation changed. I was at a point professionally where I had enough money to start messing around with more complicated R&D and spend more time on this stuff instead of working a 9 to 5 all the time. So, yeah, that was really the sort of the tipping point there. And I just said, I guess I can. So the high point.
High point.
You've probably seen it going around.
Oh yeah.
Back in June, Every Gun Parts had a sale on the kits they had in stock. They had knocked them down to like $30, and a couple of us picked them up and said, "Hey, it'd be funny if we just printed a frame." And so, a month later, no one had done it. I was like, "Well, shit, I guess I'll do it," and then I did it. It took 2 months to R&D the frame until we had enough progress to do the alpha test and the initial test firing. A month later, it was released. That was November. And then, since then, we've been sort of low-key pestering High Point for parts kits and shenanigans.
I mean, since we're fucking talking about that right now, you have been High Point, your audience beckons, like a whole series, just fucking meme after meme after meme, which cracks me up because I don't know if you know, but like High Point and us, we're tight. We love those guys, and it cracks me up. I love seeing stuff like that. We do videos called High Point Versus, and like we have a contract with them. I love the guys at High Point. Like they get it, and they know exactly what they are. They know exactly what they do. But you guys have been going after them hard, and I just read recently that they put out a little statement regarding that. Why don't you tell us that whole story?
Well, so we released the Low Point, we called it, which was the printable High Point frame for the C9 and C380, and marked the about probably inside of 2 days, parts kits on the internet that were the available ones just vanished. So I don't know how many were sold, but they're gone now. There's a couple people trying to sell them on eBay for like $200 and $300 for the kit. Mind you, the gun itself is $150. So, I don't understand that market either, but it's there. The average price for a parts kit now is like $100. So we've been asking High Point for the last, month, steadily, hey, will you just sell parts kits? Just release them to the market. And they're not interested, but that's entirely up to their call. They don't see the market, and then that's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're just running around. Like I don't know where to find it. I didn't even get it out too. It's still in the gun safe, so I can't even show it to you. But
they're pretty cool. And you guys call them the Low Point, right?
Yep.
So how hard is it to put one of those together? Like, I mean, if you have a High Point, you can take it apart and use those parts in it. But what all parts are 3D printed on the Low Point?
Right. So right now the Low Point is the only thing that's printable is the frame. So that plastic bit that holds everything else together. You're going to reuse the slide, all of the trigger components, the trigger, just everything else. So the reason we always start with that is that's the serialized component. That's what you have to buy through an FFL, which you can't just have shipped to your door. It's super inconvenient and super annoying. So that's where we start with every gun. And then right now there's a couple other projects going on for different grips. There's a mag catch revision. There's a conversion for the frame to change it over to take Glock mags, double stack Glock. There's another one to take it for you're in development to go to a single stack Glock mag. Yeah, we're all over the board.
It does. It definitely seems like it's pretty fun. What was the first gun that you printed?
I think just an AR-15 lower. It's actually this one here. Basic white. It looks like crap because it was the very first print. I don't know how well that's coming up. I think it's focusing.
Savage, is that what the one you printed?
No, I had the bolt together model.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that looks pretty good. I can't really tell from here though.
It does.
Yeah, you can really see on the bottom. It's
Oh, wow.
the surface is a little sketchy,
A little rough.
but generally it's a solid print. I think I've put maybe 100 rounds through it.
Damn.
How long does it take to print something like that?
That one took, I believe, like 15 hours.
Wow, that's a commitment right there.
Yeah.
Especially
Which-
since you said you're going to give me a
Yeah,
bunch.
totally
of them. I mean, that's
commitment,
like
you know,
your life.
because he's got to stand over there with a hand crank and turn it the whole time.
No, but sometimes you have to build braces under them depending on how big or how wide it goes. So I mean, you have to pay attention to it. You just can't like hit it and forget it.
Right. Wait, what? No. Okay, so that was the first one. You got about 100 rounds through it. Were you nervous as fuck when you first shot it?
The first shot, I was a little sketched out. I didn't quite hold it myself. I like had a clamp and I bolted it to the bench and shot the first couple from there. After about 5, I was like, all right, we're in pretty good shape. And then I took it and I shot it like a regular rifle. But yeah, I manned up a little bit. But yeah, no, it's not too bad once you start to understand the forces involved and the sort of the physics of how the thing operates.
Yeah, and I mean on a lower, there's not a whole lot of like pressure or anything like that.
Right.
The biggest areas you could even see it on that model you just held up, or that buffer tube area.
Yep, and that's where we have a lot of failures. And I don't know if I'll try and get it back in frame here. So right here, this little bump out. So these are like we took it. We started at a regular AR-15 lower, and then we started seeing where it would fail, and then we started enhancing that model based on what failures we were seeing. So it would crack right here at the buffer tower. We beefed it up a little bit to reinforce it, sort of redirect and absorb some of those recoil forces a little better.
When you first started, where were the places that you got your models?
Mine came off of FOSCAD. So there's a repository that we have that just has hundreds and hundreds of files, and it's an anything goes kind of repository. I don't think there's a lot that was verified and tested before it went into there. At least definitely not in the early, or probably not in the early days. We've got another one. We're currently running off the library. That's LBRY. That's so the Deterrence Dispense community commits to that source, and the reason we commit to that source is because that's where we can verify that things are getting tested. So we're going into the community. We're verifying what's the development that's been done. We're making sure that the builds are actually reasonably reliable before we commit them up there.
That was actually bringing me to my next question. What do you got there, Savage?
So this is my upper receiver that I printed. So
Nice.
The upper receiver is printed. The sights are printed. The I guess you could call it the handguard over here.
Shroud.
Charging handle. And the flash hider.
Oh Jesus! Have you shot that?
I have. So what this is actually goes obviously on the printed lower, and then what I do put in here is this CMG 22 conversion kit.
Okay.
Yeah, so that way there's really not hardly any forces acting upon the receiver that are going to tear it apart. So printed upper is going to be just fine as long as it's 22.
I'm a little disappointed you didn't go for the meme sights. Did you see those?
Yeah, the middle finger ones. Yeah.
It's got
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was all that was available at the time. So
you need to spin that printer back up, man.
it's fucking busted. But surprisingly, the charging handle works really well.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't have expected it to, but it actually is pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's the like I said, people think plastic is the plastic that it's just gonna break and it's really weak. It's surprisingly durable. You can get away with a lot, and they're really forgiving when they do fail.
Yeah, but this lower receiver definitely has a lot of cracks in it because my printer's shit and a lot of the layers separated. But the cool thing is, at least for a temporary fix, you can get those 3D printing pins.
Yep.
The pens, and then just kind of fill in the cracks, or kind of semi weld it back together with a hot tip. Yeah,
that's actually
hot tip.
We usually take a soldering iron with one of those chisel tips on the end of it and just run it across the surface.
Yep, there you go.
What's wrong with your 3D printer, Savage?
So one of the connection that goes to the heated print bed burned out. So I can't, my heated print bed won't heat. And so that basically, whenever I try to do a print after that, it wouldn't keep coherence, and they would just turn into a big fucking spaghetti monster after that point.
It sounds like a perfect time for me to tell you that you should follow the guide.controlpew.com and learn and get an Ender 3, which is the printer that we recommend as a community. It's basically a $250 printer at this point.
Right. Oh, for sure.
And yeah, you'll print all of this stuff behind me. All of this was done on an Ender 3.
No shit.
Yeah.
Wait, where do I buy it?
Let me see. Amazon.com,
right
probably,
there.
right?
Yeah, Amazon, AliExpress. There's links in the guide.controlpew.com.
So,
Let me see.
all right, damn it.
Ender
I didn't
3.
realize they were that
It
inexpensive.
looks a lot like mine. Yeah, $250 for the base one. 220 by 220 by 250 mil print space. Yep, that'll do.
And that's what you use right now, Alex?
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's this one behind me here. There's one above it that you can't see. There's another one. There would be one down here, but it's broken at the moment. It's in like 12 pieces on the other side of the room. I got to deal with that later tonight.
Mine comes from guy in a garage, by the way. This is his old 3D printer.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, man, there's just so much. Let's see. Tell us about your art. Well, actually, let's start out for someone who wants to 3D print. Like, tell us what they need to buy. Like, day one, if I'm going to, fuck it, I'm going to do it right now on the show. I'm going to Amazon right now. What do I need to buy to get into this?
Okay. So, day one, buy the Ender 3. Basic model will do.
Hold up. Shawn, why don't you put it on screen? Is that okay? So everyone can see your shopping list. So.
All right, hold on. Okay. All right. So the Ender 3, but which one? The Comgrow Creality?
Yeah, they're all about the same. Comgrow's a sort of knockoff, but it'll do.
Out of these top ones, which one should I get?
Probably the official one, the third one.
This one.
Yep.
Is it Prime though, Shawn? We'll get free shipping.
Yeah, there's Prime.
Prime. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me click Prime.
It's not Prime, but it is free shipping.
Here it is.
I guess this one's Prime. So
Official Creality Ender 3 3D printer, fully open source with resume printing, all metal frame, FDM, DIY printer. Is that one?
Yep.
Wait,
Right.
so it actually prints metal?
No.
Oh, God, I wish.
Okay. Added to cart. What next?
All right. So now you're going to go for some eSun PLA Plus.
eSun PLA Plus. All right.
1.75. The black will do fine.
That top one there?
That's the
Yep.
expensive stuff, too.
Black, gray, white. And we recommend this because PLA Plus, first off, is the easiest stuff to work with. That's still really durable. Second, it's eSun as a whole has been the most consistent filament we've been able to find. The consistency is what you want when you're printing things that go boom.
Okay. All right. So there we go. Added. What else?
Probably get two rolls of that because you'll probably burn through one doing initial calibration.
All right. Done.
Okay. Next thing you're going to want is a pair of calibers.
I've got
those.
those.
They're actually. Oh, you got them? Okay.
Yeah.
So you see those orange springs on the items related to this?
Yeah.
Grab those.
This FY Set C 3D print motherboard accessories. All right. Just one?
Yep.
All right. Got it.
Oh, let's see here. Now I'm racking my brain because I can't remember the rest of the list.
You said there was a list somewhere. What is it?
Yeah, it's at theguide.controlq.com.
All right, the guide.control. Yeah, let me click these links so you get the affiliate juice. All right, so which one of these do I click on?
Number 4.
What
Getting
upgrades?
started.
Yep.
All right, got it. All right, I'm here.
We're gonna hit you in one list. So now we're gonna get a bunch of sort of would be nice but don't need it sort of stuff. So the first link, the borosilicate glass print bed. It's at the very top.
Oh,
The
sorry.
essential upgrades.
Oh, here we are.
Yep. So this sometimes the print bed that ships with the machine has a little bit of warp. This will counteract the warp in the bed. It'll give you a dead flat surface.
All right. Currently unavailable.
Ah, no.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Can you
Trump
see if there's
bucks.
anything else out there? People
What-
who bought this also bought or also suggested?
Do you see that? I don't see it.
No, I don't either.
Yeah.
Is this it right here? I don't know.
No, that's not it.
So yeah, unavailable. Any other options?
Let's see. Let me give you a link in the private chat.
Okay. All right.
That should take care of it.
Now that I've clicked this, I should get. You should get all the juice here.
And for anybody watching, right, if you just type in borosilicate glass bed and then the dimensions, 235 by 235, you should get the right model. Read the details on that when you do it, though. Just make sure
Okay.
that you're going in the right direction.
So this is the one that I need then.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Added. Let me go back to the guide. God damn it. Where am I? Everything. I blacked out. What happened? Okay. Here we go. All right. So got that. Then the PEI build surface sheet.
Yep.
Now, what is that for?
So this will help adhere all of the stuff you're printing to the bed a lot better than just the regular glass surface you would be printing on.
Oh, that's way better than using glue.
Right. You already got the springs.
Okay. Yep. I was just going to ask.
And
Got that.
the other thing with and you don't need that. I'm going to tell you to skip that because you're not following the guide in order. So don't buy that quite yet.
Okay. All right.
So nice upgrades. These are not critical. So they're going to add a little bit of complexity to the build in general, but they're nice to have if you want to start doing advanced stuff. So again, I'm going to tell you to skip this section
Okay.
because the enclosure is something you need to do when you need to stop like drafts from messing with your prints with some materials.
Yeah.
That does happen. With the hot end, it can work poorly with PLA plus. With an all metal hot end, so it's something to get into when you're a more advanced printer. So then we get into tertiary upgrades. A food dehydrator. So filament prints poorly when it's moist,
Moist.
and it absorbs moisture from the air. So
Oh,
a food dehydrator, if you take your brand new spool, you toss it in there for 6-12 hours before you start printing with it. It'll just make it more consistent. So again, not necessarily most of the stuff that comes, is pretty good. Sometimes you'll have a wet roll and it'll print funny.
Interesting. Okay.
After that, we tell you to get a gunsmithing hammer. The printer comes with a little putty knife, and the hammer just helps you whack stuff off that PEI sheet a lot cleaner. I've got 2 of them sitting next to my printers, and that's just 3 a.m. I'll just whack it and they'll fall off the bed.
Perfect.
Right.
I've got gunsmithing hammers, so we're good there.
And then feeler gauges. These will help with leveling the bed, and it's really good to get that consistent distance from the bed to the nozzle, that gap, just
That
across
gap.
the surface. So
I was told to use a 3x5 card, but I'm sure these are probably better.
yeah, 3x5 card will get you there. These will get you there a lot more consistently. And
Okay.
that's again, I mean, consistency with this whole thing is absolutely key to getting a good print.
And people are talking about levelers. Is that a thing?
Levelers.
Auto bed level.
Yeah, it's it doesn't actually level the bed. It compensates for your bed being misleveled. So if one side is an inch higher than the other side, your nozzle will move at that angle, 1 inch down from one side of the bed to the other, but it won't actually flatten your print. So you'll have a funny looking print at the end. So it'll help keep things aligned longer. It's not a trade-off.
All right, so that's the stuff that I need to start 3D printing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And basically, I could print out the stuff that you're talking about all the time, right?
Yep.
All
And
right.
then, so once you get started, then part 2 of the guide will cover, once you've got your printer set up, the first things you need to do, calibration of your motors and your print head and your extrusions, and it'll walk you through most all of that.
Yeah. All right. So my price is $361.49.
It's not bad.
Which isn't bad for
No.
peak Corona.
No, I mean, like, if I, dude, all right, fucking, I'm gonna share my screen now.
Print out all the lowers you want, motherfucker.
Boom. Ordered. So there you go. That's actually really fucking easy, considering I was a little bit intimidated. So when 3D printing first started, a buddy of mine got them, and we messed around.
It's the only reason you were on the show. Goodbye.
Thanks. That was all my questions. Goodbye. No, it's fucking awesome. And like, yeah, that guide and like, dude, that is way cheaper than I thought that it would be to get that started.
Yeah, printers have come down wildly in price. This printer would have been $2,000-$3,000 4 years ago.
Yep.
Now it's $200, $250.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait till they get a load of laser centering.
I can't wait. That will be fantastic. I don't know if it's possible.
It is going to be awesome. What was the URL to all that again? It was the guide.
Theguide.controlpew.com.
Dude, all right, that's freaking sick. All right, so we've got that out of the way. I'll have a lot of questions once that stuff comes in that I won't bug you with, I promise. But let's talk about the R&D process. Like you mentioned that you print like tons of this stuff. You showed us a box earlier of just like full of bullshit. Like, misprint.
All the lowers.
Yeah,
My box is a failure.
that is so much.
Now, do you have anything that you can melt all that down with and re-spool it?
I know, that would be awesome, actually.
I'm working on something. It's out in the shop, and I mean it's just a pain in the ass, man. You gotta like it to be able to reprocess something you've already printed just takes a lot of like mashing of metal bits and to cut it all down into something you can remelt. So it's just a pain in the ass.
I'm sorry.
I think. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, can you imagine if you did perfected that process and just had people ship it to you,
Oh Jesus!
and then you can make money off that?
I mean, once you get past like the instant ATF raid on my house and the shooting of my dog,
Yeah, what kind of dog you got?
God only knows. He's a mutt mix of whatever. But
He's a bullet
Yeah.
magnet.
yeah, bullet magnet.
That's what I'm going to name my dog.
Backstop.
Oh, but yeah, no. This the stuff in this box is destined for the next politician who decides it's a good idea to do a gun buyback
Oh, nice.
because they're all technically firearms.
You should ship one to the Prime Minister of Australia just for shits and giggles.
The
I
first
kind of
one,
want to. But
yeah.
That'd be a lot in mail, though, man. Fucking Australia.
Like, is that even legal?
Worth
No.
it. Well, I asked my mom today. I was like, "Hey, mom, would you be interested in putting some money towards something, and you could make money tenfold of what you invest?" She goes, "I don't like the way that sounds. It sounds illegal." I'm like, "It's not illegal in this country." And she's like, "What is it?" And I'm like, "I want to ship guns to Hong Kong." She's like, "Is it illegal?" I'm like, "Not in this country."
Oh, God.
I'm like, "It's horribly illegal in China."
Right.
I feel like it is illegal in this country.
Why? Selling guns? It's not illegal.
No,
Yeah, but
exporting.
exporting, yeah.
Exporting's not illegal. Who do you think arms the world?
Well, the
Gun
government.
people.
Motherfucker, I got paperwork.
That is true. That is true. What do you have export paperwork though? Well, I guess you would
I
just
could.
you just have to pay ITAR and pay the federal excise tax, right?
I mean that, or you you take them out on a boat with an American flag. Once you're in universal waters, if they fall off the ship, like it is what it is.
Universal.
I know, like the spaceships flying in there and shit.
Yeah, or well, you know what I mean.
International waters?
International, yeah,
Universal's fucking amazing.
yeah, it would be. Yeah, international waters, fuck it.
Space
I
Force.
feel like that's the ultimate. I lost my my guns in a boating accident.
Right, exactly.
What
Right.
happened to lose them off the coast of Hong Kong?
Well, I lost
And look at all this money that just found its way into my bank account. Holy
Hey, fuck
shit.
'em.
Well, wait, there's that movie with like the fat kid from that other movie where he's an arms dealer.
As far as I know, the U.S. government does not give a fuck about guns that leave the country. They only care about them when they come back.
You just want to be fucking Lord of War.
No, I literally took guns. I literally have taken a gun out of the United States. They didn't give a shit. They didn't ask. There was no paperwork for it. There was none. There was no paperwork to leave the United States with a gun. There was, however, a form that I had to get filled out and stamped at
South Africa?
when I went to South Africa. There
Yeah.
was a form that I had to get filled out beforehand with the make, model, and serial number of the firearm before I left so that I could bring it back in. But they didn't give a fuck about me leaving with it.
And if the
No
people in the
form.
and if the people in the receiving country don't give a fuck, it's a win-win.
But what happens if you come back without it? Because there's this
Doesn't
form
matter, they
sitting
don't
out
give a
there that
fuck.
said, hey, here's a serial number that says you left with this gun.
No, I know because there's
I
no
don't think it
paperwork
is,
that you
no.
left with it.
Yeah.
Hey, I think we can draw a conclusion from this. That's all gun laws are infringements.
Have you ever seen the video of the dude chucking an AR off the boat?
Dude, that's my friend Jared.
Yeah, you just fuck it. You just don't bring it back in the country. It's cheaper to buy new ones.
Yep. That's what they did. They just dumped him in the ocean because,
Right.
well, and it wasn't bringing him back into the country. It was like going into other countries and stuff. But yeah, they just fucking, before they got to port, they just dumped him over the side. Crazy shit. All right. So research and development, you showed us the big box of like fail.
Yep.
But like, what is that? I mean, 15 hours to print that lower, like that's a long time. Like that's clearly why you said there's one above it and then one below it that's broken and one over there. That's why you have so many printers, right?
Yeah. That's why I got my my 3 sitting behind me. Well, 2, but I've got a couple other ones in the basement that are doing like production runs of various prints. But yeah, R&D is really, for me anyway. Everyone's got their own various methods. Mine is sitting down with the firearm and a set of calipers and just measuring until I get it right, or go blind. Or get pissed off. That was a high point. It took me 2 months sitting here with the frame and the calipers and just to figure out all the critical dimensions and prints. And there's you can do it in sections. You can start with like the grip and measure and only model the grip and print the grip, so it cuts down on some of the time. But yeah, it's just tedious and it's kind of a pain in the ass. But once you get the critical dimensions, you can do whatever you want. So we have 100 deviations of the AR-15 lower that all have the same critical dimensions, but they all look a little different. So here's one. Here's another one that I haven't quite ripped the supports off of yet.
Oh.
But I mean, the magwell's a little different. The back end's a little different. Same critical dimensions.
Which is pretty cool. So, which I guess brings me to the next step, which is you got to learn some kind of modeling software, right?
Yep. So that's actually covered in part 5 of the guide.
Well, that's if you're designing more than anything.
True. Go ahead, Alex. So part 5 of the guide.
Yeah, so part 5 of the guide, we recommend Fusion 360. They have a free license for hobbyists. It's top tier modeling software, top tier CAD software, and it's just really good. So that's what we recommend people start learning on. There's other options that are also free, but they're not as good. Yeah. And then this way, there's 10,000 members of our community, most of whom or many of whom I should say are learning how to CAD in Fusion 360. So when you have a problem, you can go to our community and say, hey, what the fuck am I doing wrong?
And probably somebody's had the exact same problem and can walk you through it pretty quick, right?
Yeah, 90% of the time. Nothing new under the sun. So.
And when you say community, that's a community on Keybase?
Yep. So our primary community, our primary hub is on Keybase. That's where most of our active development happens. Yeah, it's just a big chat room basically, or it's several very big chat rooms.
Do people go ASLs on there?
No, we
Oh.
don't have any of that. I'm sure we will now though. 'Cause-
I hope so. I hope somebody
thanks.
does that.
It'll be age, sex, and ASP, age, sex printer that you have.
right.
And I'll be like, I just bought whatever Alex told me to buy. Don't judge me. And they'll be like, fuck you,
Being
noob.
judged.
Yeah. I better not be. I bought what you told me to. Yeah. So how tough was it? How tough was it for you to get into like the modeling stuff?
I mean, it's not so much tough. Like it's just a learning curve. It's one of those things where you just have to. You can't like somebody else can't teach you how to do it. Like you just have to sit down and chew through it. So it's like I said, my first real project with we have some long prints.
Yeah.
But no, my first real project with the team was the low point, and that's where I learned to CAD. And it was just sitting there with calipers for 2 months measuring this frame. So I mean, that's really it. You just got to start. You know, people ask all the time, "Hey, how do I get started in this? How do I contribute?" Find something you want, make it. That's A to B.
I mean, I'm going to do the low point. That's going to be literally the first shit that I do when I get mine in. Because do you have any fucking idea how many high points I have?
Right?
So
that one with the broken
can
frame will
imagine.
be great.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah. No, that's my fancy one with the comp.
Yeah, but it could make it even fancier with your
fuck off,
customized lower on there.
I love that thing.
You could put WLS's life on the backstrap of your low point frame.
You're filling me with dreams right now.
You can do it. I believe in you.
I can do it. It's going to be amazing.
Don't let your dreams only be memes.
Exactly. Do it. Shit. I'm going through your website now because you mentioned the guide, which is really super valuable. That's a ton of time, man. I know how much time this takes, and not just the R&D that you're doing for all the prints that you're putting up for free. Most, if not all of them. I don't know. We'll talk about that in a minute, but like so much time and effort and energy and everything else. Why the fuck do you do this? Like you're not becoming enriched because of it.
That's very socialist of you just saying.
Say everyone's got a little bit different motivator for why they're doing this. Mine is because it's fucking hilarious. I can go into my garage
For the walls.
right. Like I can go into my garage. I can sit here in my office. In a day, I can churn out apparently like a small enough guns to take over a small country, which is apparently one according to the news. So, I think it's hilarious to go from nothing to a firearm without actually having to do anything, and it's the end run around entirely unconstitutional laws. I feel like that can't be stressed enough, and that's a big motivator for a lot of people. Is how are these people possibly going to legislate what I can do by myself in my garage with literally no help from anyone else?
Oh, the state attorney general and the governor of Washington State are doing their best.
Yeah.
They've literally made it so that you have to go through an FFL in order to transfer an 80% lower in this fucking state.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy.
I don't know how they're legally able to do that.
I don't know necessarily.
Firearm is defined under federal law.
I know they redefined firearm under state law.
Well, wasn't it Jersey that was like, Jersey was like reaching out to companies in other states and saying you can't send people things in the state of New Jersey because it's against our laws and we'll come after you. And I'm like, fuck off, bitch.
I don't remember New Jersey being able to regulate commerce in Iowa or anywhere else.
No,
so
it's utterly
gargle my balls.
Exactly. Hey, we're talking to Alex from Control Pew. We're going to take a quick moment and hear from one of our sponsors. I mean, at this point, I do want to introduce our new buddies over at Franklin Armory. Did you guys know we added them as an advertiser?
I did not know that. This is the first I've heard of it.
Really?
Yes.
Are you sure?
You
I put it in
said,
Slack.
You said you were considering it before, but I didn't know we made the plunge.
Oh yeah, no, signed contract, and today is actually the first day that we're working with Franklin Armory.
Well, all I can say is pew 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 pew.
Yeah, super fast. So what they're really known for mostly is binary triggers. And we've got the AK-9, we've got the AK coming in, we've got the 22 LR coming in pretty soon. We've already got the AR-15 binary trigger, the BFS-3, and we've actually got that on our 458 SOCOM build that we did. And the review is being worked on of that. I'm having trouble with the barrel, has nothing to do with the trigger, but that's kind of delayed the whole thing there. And I got to say, everyone knows how we choose the companies that we work with, and that we kind of put them through the whole rigmarole. And their social media guy, we started talking to him a while ago. We were like, hey, we're doing this build with Brownells. Do you want to be involved? And he got involved, and he was kind of like an advocate over there for us. So shout out to him. Thank you, sir, for kind of being the advocate. And when we always kind of put it into our cult group, what do you think about this company or that company? Whenever we're considering stuff, whenever it gets to that point. And cult member Roden actually said, don't know a whole lot about them, but they've done more for Californians than just about any other company, and I'll always respect them for that. And I thought that was actually pretty interesting, because they are kind of always trying to figure out ways to flaunt the system. And talking to Alex tonight, that's kind of like what we're doing, or like making sure that people can be free all over the United States. And they've got a lot of stuff coming out for that. So we're going to be talking a ton about binary triggers. We'll be talking a ton about some of the firearms that they have. We're talking
about the churro.
I really want to get in a reformation. I want to get in kind of everything that they do and talk about it. Like if it's good, great. If it's not good, then we'll tell you. That's how we roll with everything that we do. So got a lot of new stuff coming and on the way, but go check them out. Franklin Armory. Haven't even gotten a coupon code set up right now, but go check them out. FranklinArmory.com. Take a look at the binary triggers. I think the 22 LR is going to be one of the funnest. Let's see. I think it was Nick and I. Aaron, you weren't at SHOT Show, right?
Mm-mm.
And Jeremy, you were not at Range Day, right?
I was not.
So yeah, it was Nick and I that shot it, and holy crap, it was a blast. I
want one.
Oh, that one's going to be coming out any day, actually. So
I want one. I'm going to keep saying that till I get one. I want one.
You don't have a 1022, so fuck off.
I have several 1022s.
Oh, you do?
I have a full auto 1022.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah, no, I actually have a 1022.
So yeah, we'll be getting all that stuff in, but go check them out. FranklinArmory.com. Check them out on social media. If you feel obligated, tell them that WLS is life. Whatever you want to do, we don't care. So FranklinArmory.com. Look forward to a lot of stuff coming up from them, and thanks to them for believing in WLS.
Wait, is Nick dead?
Yeah, he died.
Okay,
he died.
We don't miss him though.
Nah. All right, we're back with Alex from Control Pew. All right, so R&D, doing a lot of the modeling stuff, doing a lot of just caliper measuring and things like that, printing out tons and tons and tons of shit, using all kinds of materials, and seeing what works and what doesn't work. How often do you test fire these things?
Not as often as I want to. I haven't been able to get to the range, aside from like this morning. It's been probably a month and a half since I made it to the range. Corona's been kind of nuts, and I've been working like mad. So yeah, I try and make it every other week at least. Every week would be great if I can like bang out some time on a Saturday, but good Lord, man.
So when are you guys going to come out with the binary trigger?
As soon as Franklin Armory sends me the schematics to the one that they have, and we can copy it and do some R&D.
So get on that, Franklin.
Right? Hook a brother up. No. Before we move on, though, I did want to show you this real quick. This
There it is.
My low point. So yeah, 3D printed Hunter Orange. Yeah, low point.
It looks like a toy.
It looks no different.
It looks like a DeWalt screwdriver.
Wait, it's got a pick rail on the front. It's got a pick rail where the rear side goes, so you can mount an optic on it.
Sights still work.
Oh god, it's got a trench fucking side.
Yep. We left no stone unturned with this one. So there you go.
Have you shot it?
I have. This one has got about 300 rounds on it. A couple of my guys from the Alpha group have, I think they're sitting around 150 on theirs. So more rounds than most people are going to shoot out of a high point in the first place.
That's true.
Well, before you unload it, because it's too hot. It's got too many bodies under it.
Chuck it in the river. It's fine.
You just reprint a new one and melt the old one down.
Yeah. 15 hours for a drop gun.
Yeah. It's a Friday afternoon well spent.
Yeah.
The exact opposite part that you actually need.
Right.
Change.
How long did that take to print?
God, I don't even remember. Probably under 20 hours. I want to say they were being done in under 10 when the project got released. The settings that we had, we would get it under 10.
Wow.
So yeah, it's not too bad.
That it's freaking awesome. It looks amazing. It's ridiculous and amazing. It's ridiculous amazing. Yeah.
Copyrighted.
Yeah, copyright. I've been seeing these narwhal tusks all over the place. What's up with that?
Yeah, so the story, this was a dumb thing off of Twitter. When there was a terror attack in November of last year on London Bridge in London. Well, London Bridge. Anyway, there was a chef. I think he was a chef. He was also an ex-convict doing something nearby. He saw the stabbing start. He heard the guy screaming about, "Oh, I've got a bomb on my chest, suicide vest." And he grabbed the narwhal tusk off the wall at this restaurant, ran outside, and started beating the guy to shit with it. It was hilarious, and I laughed my ass off when I saw this because it's such an absurd thing to see. You don't expect to see somebody beating the shit out of another guy, with a narwhal tusk, much less like the hero's an ex-convict and the other guy's a terrorist. You just don't expect to see that. So yeah, it came out on Twitter. Somebody asked if we could print one or print a holder for one, and then we started looking at it as like $30,000 for a narwhal tusk. We said, okay, well, next best thing is we'll just over-engineer a bayonet and make it and style it like a narwhal tusk. And so we have the 3D printed narwhal bayonet.
Will you 3D print me that stormtrooper mask?
Like maybe
That probably would take a long ass fucking time.
Yeah,
I tried to print an Iron Man mask or helmet, and it just did not turn out well at all.
The one that I have there took probably about 200 hours to get it to that point.
I'll wait. I'm in no rush. It's cool.
I'll think about it.
Also, fun fact: narwhal tusks are actually a tooth that grows through their head. Yeah. Well, I guess it wasn't that fun of a fact. If you guys are like, okay, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's true
Makes
though.
sense.
Yeah, these are. Have you stabbed stuff with the narwhal tusk?
I have not been able to get to field test those yet. There is one guy who printed one and did, and it was hilarious. And there's another guy who mounted one on a machine gun. So, yeah, I've got video of that stuff in the queue. It'll come out in the next couple weeks.
Oh, sweet! Because I actually have machine guns, and soon I'll have a 3D printer. I'll do a low point and then a narwhal tusk, and I'll stab Nick with it to death.
That won't be that hard. He's already dead.
Yeah, basically.
Be sure to get like the pipe though, instead of just the solid steel rod.
Yeah.
And if you cut it at the tip, you get the nice hypodermic needle kind of effect.
Oh God.
And then the tip on that, the first like 4 inches, was designed to snap off inside the person.
Is that
So-
just the tip? Just the tip?
Just the tip.
So they bleed out through the hole.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
a great idea.
Over-engineered.
All right, so let's talk about freedom for a minute. Like, why are you doing this? Like, why does it matter? Why is it important? Why does anyone give a shit?
Well, I mean, for me, it's every 5 minutes there's a new law and a new thing being banned, and these guns are evil because we're terrified of them and don't understand them. And my all I'm trying to do is to teach people that they're not that terrifying. They're not overly complicated machines. They're really, really simple, and you can build one in a day on a 3D printer and get enough rounds to to deal with any immediate situation that needs to be dealt with, or that you would use an AR-15 to deal with. Yeah, that's really about the gist of it. We're not overly complicated.
Yeah. Now, when I say stuff like that, it's because tell us about the Yankee Boogle.
Oh God. So I believe I haven't been able to confirm this. I think Dugan actually designed that one.
Oh snap!
There are a couple of them. I know we got the video from him about the Yankee Boogle video that went out.
You said
But,
Dugan, as
yeah.
in the Dugan?
Carnicon.
Yeah, the Dugan.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so I believe that came from him. I haven't been able to confirm it or trace back the lineage on it. But yeah, it's basically a drop-in autos here. The ATF considers it a machine gun on its own.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's and again, it comes back to the law is dumb because it's trying to regulate something I can easily make in the privacy of my own home with literally no one else knowing about it inside of a day. In this case, under half an hour. Yeah, that's.
So the reason I ask about stuff like that is, I mean, like clearly, if people can make these in their own homes, like super quickly. I mean, this is what was it? 10 years, $250,000 fine if you're caught with something like this. But why is it important that they can't stop the signal, in air quotes?
Well, I think the sort of the last line of the Second Amendment is about sort of fighting off a tyrannical and corrupt government and being able to have the same or very similar arms, because a government is going to fight you if you try and fight it, or if you try and dissuade it by force. It's going to fight you, and to be able to have the same arms or similar arms, it just puts you on a very even playing field. It makes both parties very conscious of the cost of going down that road.
Yeah. I very much agree. I think that that freedom is kind of the ultimate thing that we have. It's really the only thing that sets us apart from most other countries is that freedom that we have. And manufacturing firearms in your garage has been a thing that's been legal for our whole lives and longer. And what do you think about the politicians that see 3D printing as like the greatest threat to the American way of life that they've seen in 100 years?
I kind of feel like they understand 3D printing about as well as they understand firearms and the Constitution and the
I thought you
American
were gonna say about as well as America.
What?
Thanks for that. That was
No, he's like, they understand 3D printing about as much as, and I thought he was going to say America.
Maybe they don't understand America, but yeah, they don't understand it at all. And I don't think that they understand that you can manufacture a gun in your garage right now without any tools, licensing, anything else. Like it's all part of that freedom, right?
Yeah, and to be clear, like you don't even need a 3D printer to do this. You can do this with $40 at Home Depot and mash together some pipes and call it a day.
$12.
Yeah, I mean they're not complicated. They're not simple. They're not complicated. They're not terrifying once you understand how they work. And that understanding is something that all of these politicians seem to be lacking.
Yeah. Alex, do you think, I mean, like clearly a criminal can and probably has, like I think I've seen something about cartels and stuff like that using the stuff like people could use these things for evil. And I mean, shouldn't we legislate against 3D printing because someone could possibly perhaps use it for evil?
Well, there's the old tried and true, someone could potentially use a car for evil, so let's have, state control over all cars and everything else. Or I could beat somebody to death with a hammer, so I need a background check to buy that from the hardware store. But I feel like there's a deeper challenge there around, who are we calling criminals, or how are we defining these people? It's like we have the felon test, but felons went to prison and were arguably released because they're no longer a danger to society. So why are we still branding them felons, and why do we still need to have that caution? Shouldn't they just be regular people at that point? So I don't know. There's a lot there. It's a deep issue.
No, it really is. And I say that facetiously because I don't fucking care what criminals do. Like I only care what law-abiding citizens do. And if we're out there and we're printing guns and we're making guns in our garages and things like that, it's legal. and it's been legal for a very long time. And yes, there's people that are going to use things that we know and love, and they're going to use them in the wrong way. We see it every time someone goes out and uses a gun to commit evil, but that doesn't mean that the hundreds of millions of gun owners in this country are evil in any way, shape, or form. It doesn't make any sense. And I agree with you 100%. I think that these politicians, they just think that, oh, this is so freaking scary. And I'm like, this is not scary at all. They're making fucking high points with 3D printing. Like that's not scary. It's awesome.
It's control.
It is. They want to control. They want to control.
They want to control Pew.
Hey,
What are your favorite? Like, there's so many models that I see on your Instagram and your social media. Like, what are some of your favorites?
I mean, the one I'm holding in my hands it's generally my favorite.
Is
I
it
mean, what's that?
I see the one. Oh, I thought.
I mean, it can be.
Now.
I did design a dick foregrip for for TFB. It glowed in the dark. It mounted on his Picatinny rail.
Was it James?
Yeah, he did the community build. So it was nice and girthy and veiny. So I thought he would enjoy that. But
he listens to the show, so he'll hear it.
It never came up on the video, so I don't know what happened to it, but we'll see.
Well, if you made us one, we would put it in every video.
I will have to print you one then. I'll have to get some glow in the dark.
No. Don't do it for him. He's getting his own fucking printer.
Okay. I'll send you the file and a link for some glow in the dark filament.
That's awesome. But so you have gotten into this trend of like mocking stupid politicians with like, tell us about some of those.
Yeah. So Josh Shapiro, that flying bag, tried to do the same thing in PA that you had done in Washington and was being done in California. He said all precursor parts were. Oh, that's funny.
Control Punis.
Yep. He tried to say that all precursor parts of firearms were firearms and should be regulated as firearms. So Matt from the Firearms Policy Coalition got in touch with me, asked me to put this thing together. This is a little First Amendment, Second Amendment art piece for Josh Shapiro.
That is wonderful in every way.
I don't know if the site's still up, but joshshapiroisaTyrant.com. You should go and check that out. It's a ton of fun. But yeah, so we released this. There was a whole video around it. It was we even wrote a song for it and had it put together. But yeah, I really just hate douchebaggy politicians who think they can decide that, you know, the Second Amendment is something that they can decide to mess with or something that they can interpret on their own. And try and craft laws around it, or not even laws, more like dictations to the state police around these things. And you know, the First and Second Amendment, to me, these are sort of like set in stone. You know, they mean exactly what they say, and you can't really change them, because changing them in any respect sort of negates the purpose of them in the first place.
Yeah, completely agree. So last, I want to talk about community. Clearly, you've got a pretty sick community, like lots of people doing a lot of good work out there. Tell us about it. Tell us, like, you know, why it's good. What are some of the challenges involved with it, and what are some of the great things about it?
I would say our challenge is probably the same challenge that everybody has on the internet, is just trolls and people who don't quite understand what it is that we're doing. You know, they think it's the intersection of like the Boog culture of, oh, we're going to overthrow the government. Like, that's not really what we're about. We're about the constant preservation of individual rights. We're not really, you know, the governmental business is sort of a secondary. God, challenges in the community. There are a lot.
Yeah, like what? Like what kind of stuff do you run into?
Not so much on Keybase. We get chased off a lot of other social media platforms just for the message that we're trying to put out. You know, we're generally frowned upon in most tech circles and most on most of the internet. They don't like people talking about guns. So we found a little home on Keybase there, and it's. Yeah.
Well
I-
said. Well said.
I'm just
Interesting.
trying to wrap my head around the whole because there's good lord, man. There's 10,000 people in our Keybase community. Like it's just a madhouse. We have all kinds. So trying to sum it up in a small section is just nutty.
I mean, it's like you've got everyone from like
Yeah.
the most trolly of trolls
Yep.
to like the most nerdy of nerds to the most aspy of Asperger's to like the most just like freedom of free, right?
Yep. We are a whole vertical cross section of the internet. Every walk of life, every creed and color, every political alignment, unified under a desire to spread the idea that we as people are entitled to speak our ideas and have have all the arms that we can, or the most technologically advanced arms that we can manifest ourselves.
Which, I mean, isn't that what freedom's all about? It doesn't matter color, creed, religion, beliefs, left, right. It doesn't matter any of that. It matters about freedom. Like we'll talk about this a little bit more later in the show, but like that is the thing that matters. I don't really care what sexual preference someone has. I care that they care about freedom as much as we do.
Yep.
Like that's it without question. Deterrence dispensed, defense distributed. Like those are some of the bigger names in what is it? Repositories for plans and just like I don't know, clearing houses for plans and things like that. What are your thoughts on those organizations?
I like them. We're pretty similar in a lot of ways. We have a pretty similar ideology. Again, it's all about spreading the first, spreading the second, and making sure that we stay as free as we humanly can.
Which I think is what America's all about, right? Like that is what matters. Like freedom is what matters, right, Jeremy?
Yep.
No, that's fucking awesome. You're gonna stick around with us for a bit, right?
Yeah, I can hang.
Because I've got all kinds of stuff that I'm gonna ask as we kind of move down into the show. But how do people support you? I think is the important question right now.
I mean, download the files, Prince of Guns. Nothing says more to us than building the things that we create. So if you want to go and build a Glock, build a Glock. If you want to build an AR, build an AR. We're releasing some stuff for the BRN 180 uppers or AR 22 uppers, things that don't require a buffer tube right here.
Yeah.
It's a pretty sweet gig. You'll see it on my Instagram. But yeah, just build the stuff that we're publishing. That means the world to us. It means that you're receiving our signal and you're understanding what it is that we're saying. Beyond that, most of the devs take Bitcoin donations. So if you have Bitcoin sitting around that you don't want anymore, send it to them. We'll look up the wallet, get in touch with me. I'll tell you tell me who you're trying to get in touch with, and I'll facilitate that. Yeah, I mean, that's really. I do have a merch store as more of a sort of gag. We sell patches and shirts and such. So yeah.
How do you feel about becoming one of like the faces? I mean, we saw Cody and everything that he did, but like recently when I think about 3D printing and when I think about this kind of stuff, like I think Control Pew, and you really have become kind of that face of it. How does that feel?
I feel like I've got an ugly ass face, and I need to be prettier for that role.
I just honestly, I want to give you some advice, and I know it's totally unsolicited, but if you're on any sugar daddy sites, I just want you to avoid them.
Well, I am not on any sugar daddy sites. My wife is significantly older than I am, so I'm looking up cougars.
You're a sugar baby. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Good for you, man.
That's the way to be.
ControlPew.com. You can find him Control Pew, and that's CTRLPew.com. CTRL Pew on Instagram and all that good stuff. He's going to stick around. We got a lot more questions for him. We're going to get into the show. And I guess at this point, I want to talk about Black Rhino concealment. So everyone's kind of been going crazy over the mid-ride UBL lately. Nick has one, Savage has one, I have one, and I'm pretty stoked about it. And so here's what it is. Mid-ride UBL, it's got the QLS fork and receiver from Safari Land. Yeah, there it is right there. and it's got the nuts strap as well. That's made by Zulu Nylon Gear, but it's all kind of put together into a package from Black Rhino Concealment, as well as Savage. Show us the front of that real quick. With custom printed whatever you want. Savage has the dark cult symbol for WLS, which is pretty badass.
I want one.
You're just gonna say that about everything tonight, aren't you?
Pretty much. Well, only the things that I want, though. That counts. There's some things that I'm sure I'm going to see. I'm like, I don't want that.
But yeah, so it is a sweet system. I got one, Savage has one, and Nick put together one as well. And you can find those with any holster that you need, any light that you need. So I've got a TLR1 HL on my Smith & Wesson M&P with the CGS Group Cube compensator, a Swamp Fox Optics, Liberty red dot, and it all fits in that rig and just pops right in and out with the QLS fork.
It's the most comfortable way to fucking carry, honestly.
It is.
I want one.
It's not a drop leg, but it's not at your belt. It just drops it to a comfortable position, and I am freaking loving it. BlackRhinoConcealment.com. Coupon code WLSMOFO saves you 10% all day, every day. And yeah, I think that'll do. I guess this is where I play this song. All right. I'm a little bit behind, so I'll do the ad read for facts in here in just a minute. But I got a couple things that I wanted to update you guys on, and I don't know. I've been kind of going crazy. So 224 Valkyrie update. I had a few people ask me. So recently, Angel's dad and I have been working. He had a 224 Valkyrie that had the same results as I did. It was basically fucking awful. And I put it in the safe for like over a year and never touched it again. He did the same thing, and we've been going out, and one of the guys that he works with, Thin Line Defense, has been loading us some rounds. We've done some ladder rounds. We're kind of figuring out what does well and what doesn't. We even bought the Federal match stuff with the 80.5 grain burger projectile, and that shit was garbage. We've done the American Eagle stuff, and we're finally kind of dialing it into where we've actually got a pretty good idea of what we need. And I finally realized that I'm going to have to reload if I want to do this. Now, I've been planning on doing it anyway because I want to do some 6.5 Grendel stuff, some 6.5 Creedmoor stuff, and I know that I'm going to get the best performance by doing my own loads. But the cool thing is they've kind of taken all that work out of it for us. So we've got a bunch more rounds on the way, another ladder test with different kind of powder. And there's a website that did, like, he calls it the laser load for 224 Valkyrie. It's basically CFE 223 powder, a Burger 80.5 projectile, Starline brass, Federal 205 small rifle primers at a 26.6 grain load, and apparently it's like a laser out of a 1 in 7 twist 20-inch barrel, which is exactly what I happen to have. So we've been getting some better results. We found what does work. We found what doesn't work. We're doing testing. I literally went out and ordered all of the fucking stuff I needed to reload because I was like, okay, I'm just going to have to do it. I have to bite the bullet. I'm going to have to reload for 6.5 Creedmoor anyway, and I might as well just go out and do it. So I got a RCBS Rock Chucker Supreme press. I bought RCBS Chargemaster Light powder measure. I had a Lyman case trimmer. I had a Lyman case prep station that chamfers and deburrs and all that stuff. I had pretty much everything else, but I bought the press, the powder charge measure, the dies. For that one, I think I got some Hornady and I got some RCBS as well. And then I have the 6.5 Grendel and Hornady. And yeah, I guess I'm getting back into it. I mounted my press today. I'm just waiting for my Brownells order because it was rifle primers. It had to be ORMD, so it takes a little bit longer, which I hate. But it'll be here Wednesday, and then yeah, I'm going to start reloading. So yeah, 224 Valkyrie, I've definitely been getting into it more. I'm going to have to start reloading again. I got all this stuff now, and it's all out there, and I'm ready for that. So I didn't want to ever reload again. Like, I used to reload 223 and 9mm for competition, and I fucking just constantly. Savage posted a meme, stop trying to make 224 Valkyrie happen. It's not going to happen. Well, I will say right now, Savage, that I'm getting really good results. I think I was 0.58 MOA with some of the load testing that we did. Oh, I think I accidentally removed Savage.
Valid. We'll give it to you.
Yeah, fuck that guy. But Corbin said getting ready to try that load in 224 Valkyrie as well. It's ultimate reloader.
Ejected myself. What did you say?
Oh, you ejected yourself. I was like, oh my god, I think I just kicked Savage out.
No, that was me.
No, but I think I'm actually pretty happy with it. If I could get 0.58 and continue that out to distance, like I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah, but I mean, I think I honest to God think that Valkyrie is a fucking bastard that's not going anywhere. I think 6.5 is probably the best one out there. Valkyrie, you have to work too fucking hard to get it to work. I'm sorry, you just have to work too fucking hard to get it to work.
You're not wrong. You're definitely not wrong. So the problem is that I got a 1 in 7 twist on my barrel, and 1 in 6.5 is actually what it turns out later. It came out that was kind of the secret sauce. And actually, both.
But is it?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of is. Like I'm getting 0.58 MOA, and he got 0.53 MOA with a 18-inch barrel.
But is it under the new 6.5 twist rate?
No, 1 in 7 barrel.
Okay, so I mean, again, you have to bust your ass with the special load just to get that work. Whereas if most other calibers, you drop it in, factory loads will do okay.
That's not necessarily true, because I've had the same problem with 308. I've had the same problem with 6.5 Creedmoor. I've had the same problem with 6.5.
But you've been able to find those loads.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, okay,
It's
so your
easier to find
308 sucks that you use. So you just you try out a couple different brands,
Yeah.
and you may find the right
You
weight.
you put an MA2 ball. Oh, it sucks. No shit. Okay, so let's put in some Federal match, and oh, hey, it works.
You're not wrong. Like it's definitely like 224 has been a challenge. I will agree. But if I'm able to reach out, like, so we've got another ladder load, and then we've got, I don't know what they're called. I think someone called them a Mexican load, which is basically the American Eagle, the real cheap shit that you pop the projectile out, leave the powder, the primer in the case, and then you just reseat an 80.5 burger bullet. And apparently people are getting like really amazing results with that, which is not that shabby, because that shit's like $8 a box.
It seems like a process that I don't want to be involved in.
Yeah, it is, but I don't know.
You're talking to Captain Half-Ass. I'm like, dude, can I just buy it?
Dude, my whole plan with all long range has been I just want to buy it off the shelf. But I'm starting to realize that
you should have bought a 300 Win Mag.
Hey-o!
I just don't think it's going to be possible for me to buy off the shelf. So I'm gonna load some, and once we get the recipe right, I'll get his OAL and his powder charge and everything. And we've done the ladder testing. We know it's going to work. So instead of replacing that barrel and bolt, well, just the barrel, I think actually, I'm just gonna load some rounds, and if I can have something that I can hit at 1,000 meters and I can hit with pretty decent accuracy, I'll be pretty happy. But I'm not gonna lie, I was very close to just changing out the barrel and building something else, but there's not really anything else I want to build. So 224 Valkyrie still on the table. Apparently I'm reloading again, thanks to Josh and Roden and everybody in the cult that assisted me. I actually bought a bunch of gear from our cult members. Got a really good deal, by the way.
That's what they were like. Hey, we don't like our shit. Let's just sell it off and make him think it's going to get really good.
Well, yeah, that was basically it. Thanks, Josh Fucker. But yeah, it's pretty good. I've been working on the Polymer 80 PF9 SS, which is basically Glock 43-ish. It uses Glock 43 compatible parts. Problem is there's not a ton of parts out there. So I've got my barrel now. I've got my slide. Ryan Kleckner sent me a Glock 43. So I'm going to use that frame with parts.
He fucking dumped water in my crotch, and he sends you a fucking gun.
Oh,
thanks,
yeah.
Ryan.
No, I was like telling him, I was like, yeah, I'm just looking for a Glock 43 lately. We were just chatting on the phone, and I was like, yeah, I'm working on this and this and this. And he's like, oh, I've got a Glock 43. Do you want it? And I was like, yes. And a few days later, it showed up. So yeah, fuck you all.
His fucking Ray Romano voice. Fuck you, Ryan Kleckner.
So I'll be working on that with the Polymer 80. And the thing I really want to talk about is I got a bug assault. All right, so it's moth season in Colorado, and in the studio, my office, the other studio, the storage room, like there's been moths everywhere. They're just like every single day I walk in, there's more moths. So I got this bug assault. I paid way too much money for it. I got the laser. I got the black one. I ordered the salt for it. I paid for like expedited shipping. And I swear to God, I've been like a moth serial killer ever since. Every morning,
up the bodies.
The Roomba.
Okay, gross.
It's so great. So it does take a few hits with a moth unless I can get it like straight in the face. So I generally shoot it and knock it down. Like basically the first shot destroys its wings, and then I just shoot it in the face from close range going forward. But
You're way nicer than me. I would let it die.
I know.
I'd let it suffer.
No, I try not to let him suffer. Even Nick the other night, he came in and we went in the other room and he shot a bunch of moths. But I've shot a couple flies. I shot a spider. I've shot about 300 moths. And yeah, the bug assault is kind of awesome.
You just could, set up a bug bomb in wherever you're at and let it go. That way you wouldn't have to fucking do all this manual shit. It's really easy.
All right. So every morning I get to work at about 8 a.m. That's my goal every morning.
Oh, that must be nice.
I immediately walk in to the office and I grab the bug assault and I just like Biden said. And from that point, I just walk around the studios and literally kill moths. It's fucking amazing. So we were talking before the show, Control Pew, like a CO2 powered bug assault.
I mean, yes. More guns. Fuck it.
They're awesome. I'm not going to lie. I paid $80 for the one that I have. It's a complete ripoff, but I'm having so much fun killing these living creatures that I don't even know what to do.
So they make the shells for paintballs, right? Like the two halves, and you just squish them together, and you can do DIY paintballs.
Yeah.
What if you just took like powdered salt and put it in there, and then put it in a paintball gun, and then overcharge the paintball gun so you're shooting at a higher pressure, which just ruptures the ball. So you're just shooting powder out the end.
It would be interesting. So I will say that. So I've got several paintball guns sitting on the other side of the table over here. And they shoot the rubber paintballs or but not the big ones, like the smaller diameter, the .43 caliber, I believe. And those fucking things, like I've broken glass. I broke my door in the office. Like they will wreck shit. So it would have to pierce it on the way out of the barrel, but that would be a huge salt load, that's what she said.
I was waiting for one of those. What, like you've done like 10 minutes of like, I've been doing my own loads in the butt or whatever. There's like, no one's gonna, no, really? What show did I come on?
I don't know. What show did you come all over?
Whoa.
Oh, no.
They could have just said, come on, and we would have still got the joke. You didn't have to go like the step further. It made it not funny.
He could. The
immediately invalidated, bitch.
They've been talking about can you 3D print an SSB mold, which that's not cool.
I mean, it kind of is though.
Aaron, what is your product tonight?
My product tonight, it seems there's a lot going on in the world. I got an email today from a company selling they sell window tint. They sell window decal designs, but they also sell a film that you can put on your windows to make them safe for safety and security. So they're basically touting it as riot-proof window film. And what it does is you put it on your windows and it helps it make it shatterproof. So you can sit there with a hammer and bang on it, and it will protect the window from coming apart.
Which is actually pretty crazy because we've seen it in these riots.
Jesus.
Like San Jose, I believe, the people, they had stopped traffic and they're just literally just walking up and bashing out windows with tire irons. And I think that's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah. So if you're looking for some window film for your to make your, because like it's funny because I have a lot of sliding glass doors in my house.
That motherfucker does not know how to throw a sledgehammer. He is purposefully pussyfooting it.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing actually.
But not how you swing a sledgehammer. If that's how hard he's swinging, I get through that in one swing.
Yeah. Well,
wait, hang on. Maybe he'll swing it harder. Look at that foot. He's kind of made it soft.
But it's deformed, but it's not through.
No, what he's done is he's effectively made a car windshield.
Yeah.
He's put like, it's almost like having the safety glass on there.
No, it's safety glass, but like a windshield is 2 layers of glass with a sticky film between them. So when it shatters, it doesn't blow out. So like if debris hits your windshield, it doesn't fucking kill you.
Changing the way
he's effectively turned your like storefront window into a car windshield, and trust me, like a good throw with a fucking hammer goes through that
Well,
shit.
I mean, he's shooting it with a 22 and it's holding it up as I mean, it's 22,
Yeah,
but
the
Massive
fucking 22.
22 is
oh,
nothing.
and 9mm rounds as well. Look at that, that's pretty good.
Okay, 9 mils.
So wait, I'm
Interesting.
paying more money to not be able to shoot the people breaking into my store. Is that what we just discovered here?
I would put this in my car if it was cheap enough.
Yeah, it looks like it's just film you put on the front, like both sides of your windows. So
It's just to keep it from shattering and dropping. That's all it does.
What the fuck? Sound
That's kinda
guru.
smart.
He'll swing harder if the SSB is on the other side. Thanks, Nick and Jeremy.
what happens on the other side of the glass? Well, it looked like nothing when he was shooting it. There was a target behind there, and it wasn't taking any hits.
No, it wasn't doing anything.
The question is, can he break through the glass ceiling? I think that's the
How much
question we're all
does it
asking.
No, that's what the whole point is of it.
How much does it cost?
I have no idea, dude. What am I fucking? I just put titles down. You guys are supposed to do all the legwork. Remember?
Add
Captain?
add C-bond systems to any window film in whatever the title is. I mean, wait, can you 3D print windows?
I mean, you
It's
could.
called melting sand.
There's actually some really interesting transparent resins.
Oh, yeah, I guess that would make sense. Yeah.
A couple people have done Glock frames out of them. They're pretty cool.
Ah, dang. It's going to be so awesome.
They're like, see this glass nobody uses in Windows anymore? We're going to throw a baseball at it. And now we're going to show you a completely different kind of glass.
It's crazy. Like
This is marketing for people that don't know how windows are made anymore.
yeah.
Right, windows are made differently now.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Not side windows. I've smashed out a couple of those.
Yeah. Glass ceilings, though, like Savage was saying, or whoever was saying, yeah, they're unbreakable, guys. Just fucking give it up.
You're missing the point. Plexiglass shield. That would be pretty dope.
Yeah, but who know? No one wants plexiglass for their doors. That just seems
why not?
weird.
If that pussy with the sledgehammer couldn't smash it, maybe it's
Okay, so the issue is the plexiglass shield. The plexiglass shield is a smaller piece of plastic, and it's framed in, while a door is a huge pane of glass, and a piece of plexiglass would be more likely to warp and bend with pressure.
It could be. Yeah, I don't know. Kind of cool. I wonder how expensive it is. That's really what I want to know.
It's free. They're giving it away.
Yeah.
You want one? I'll get you one.
Yeah, give me one.
All right, you got 2 on your way right now. I called them.
Well, if they have a glass storefront and I have a sledgehammer, it's free because I'm gonna make it through that shit real quick.
All right, there. Fucking. We're gonna talk about that. Don't worry.
Don't worry, Paul Bunyan. You'll be swinging.
So real quick, do want to talk about Facts and Firearms. Man, all the gun companies have been hit super hard. I'm not avoiding it, Savage. I'm just taking a brief moment
Okay, all right.
to talk about it. Facts, and I don't know if you follow their social media, but they kind of kill it. They've been doing some themed builds. They did one with artwork by Angel that was awesome. They've done now the Mustang edition, which is pretty fucking cool, actually. Here, I'm throwing it up on screen now, but you can go to factsandfirearms.com if you're listening to the audio version and see it. All those tiny little rivets, like,
It must have taken forever to screw in.
I think it's
You don't screw in rivets first. First,
It must have taken a long time to rivet in.
that is true. That is true. But all kinds of stuff. So they've got gas blocks that are put on prior to you getting them. They've got integral compensators built into the barrel, so you get that 16 inches without having to weld or put
That's
on.
what she said.
Thank you. Or without having to put on a muzzle device and weld and pin it. Just like all kinds of stuff. They came out with their 9mm carbine, the Bantam. They've got the FX19 pistols, the Patriot and Hellfire. They've got the Glock slides. They've got the MMP slides, Patriot and Hellfire. Like, Faxon's killing it. And
It's hard
they're
to see the picture though with all those words in front of it.
sorry.
No, he's talking about your lower third, motherfucker.
What lower third? Oh,
About the bug assault shit.
I'm sorry.
God damn, dude. Do I have to be the adult in the room?
Apparently, yeah. The Bantams are actually
Motherfucker, you've never been the adult.
they're under $1,000 for a PCC. You can get the upper for $535, which is pretty awesome. And they're just constantly pushing out new stuff, which we love. So go check them out, factsandfirearms.com. Coupon code WLS10 is going to save you 10% all day, every day. Savage, I wasn't ignoring you. What's your
Okay. So, I mean, I doubt this is what would be considered a product that you can get in the U.S., but Chile has a state manufacturing company called FAMAE, and they're introducing a new 9x19 pistol. Now, something we've seen a lot of in foreign countries like Turkey, per se, is clones. And this FAMAE looks to be a SIG P228, P229 clone. Very similar in many respects. There's a 13-round magazine capacity, steel slide, and aluminum frame, and it's going to be their new state, issued or military issued sidearm. And I always think it's kind of cool because you look like companies like Canik, and they manufacture a lot of the firearms for Turkey and other countries, and there's a couple other countries that also do CZ75 clones. And so this one, again, is a state-run organization, so it's totally socialist. Canik is not. Other countries, have their own independent firearms makers that also do exports. I doubt these guys will be doing exports, but it would be kind of cool to have a SIG P228, 229 import that's way less than a SIG is.
I hate it, and I hate this guy's grip, and I hate that he's closing one eye. And I hate his ammo.
You hate him more, but what do you think about the gun? I mean,
I hate it.
Why? Why would you hate it?
Why would I like it?
Because SIGs are overpriced, and it'd be nice to have a cheaper version. That's
Dude, motherfucker, that looks like a Smith 509.
This looks like some shit that Alex printed.
Or not 509. What's that? The 590, 55609, like that series. It doesn't look like.
I have a 6906, and it doesn't. I mean, okay, it looks a little bit, not too much.
Literally, the fucking article, it's like largely based on the Smith and Wessons. Like that looks like.
No,
that looks more like a Smith than a SIG.
It literally says it's based on the SIG.
Right below. Scroll down.
Are you talking about the revolver?
Oh, the revolvers. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, snap. I just wanted to do that.
That still looks like a fucking Smith pistol, though.
I mean, because it's two-tone.
It's
It
based
looks
on
like the two-tone.
Just
I
saying.
mean, here, I'll grab mine. So you can see it does kind of look like it.
It says in the article it's based on the SIG, though, Jeremy.
I know it does. I saw that now.
Wait, why'd you close that video, Shawn? A picture of a guy in a Boog shirt.
It was James.
I'm over here trying to scroll up.
So here, it does kind of look. I mean, if you're just looking at tonal looks very similar.
It does. It does. How much?
It's like, hey, I took an old Smith and put a rail on it.
It doesn't say how much it is.
This just looks like the biggest hunk of shit ever, man.
Why?
But that thing's a lot squarer than my 229.
Yeah.
It does look like a compact, basically.
I don't like how it
pounds.
looks like a Tacker.
Tokarev.
Mine is 16 plus 1.
That
Just
does
saying.
not look like a Tokarev.
Just the angle. The pistol
Mm-mm.
angle. It's so stiff. Yeah.
No, dude, I know. That looks nothing like a Tokarev.
Alex,
The angle of the pistol grip, it does look that way.
Alex, can you print something better for us?
I mean, I'm gonna try and send you a screenshot in the chat here in a second.
Okay, I'm looking.
Once my software comes up.
He's working on a fucking 226 frame. I knew it.
That would be awesome.
No, we've had a 228 frame in the repository for years, and it's not printable because it's a 22. Like the physics just aren't there. Yeah, I can't send you this this image, but it's not printable because it's the critical dimensions aren't there. The pressures are too much for the plastic at the moment, but I mean it's there. So
damn. I would shoot a 3D printed version, but I don't want the Chilean version.
Chilean?
Shut up, Jeremy.
Jeremy's like cotton. He's like, he's Malaysian.
But that is actually, I mean, it's a clone without question, right?
I would think so. Yes, it specifically says so in the article.
Huh.
Stoker?
I don't know. Very interesting.
Stoker?
I thought that's
That
what
what
you
you said?
said. I thought that's what you said.
I said stolen. Straight up stolen.
Stolen.
It's not a clone. Straight up stolen.
I agree.
Well, it's
The-
Chile.
the-
So of course, it's stolen.
The chick with the Hispanic name said I said it right, so fuck you.
Carolina
C.
C.
Yes,
Argentinian, I believe.
she's Argentinian.
Okay, hold up. I'm gonna
Tiny, and I hear she's only like 4'4".
I'm gonna show the control Q version here.
That's close.
It,
Oh,
it-
that's
it
A
is.
couple mods. It'll be.
just kidding.
Throw up.
the backstrap.
I think throw a pick rail on there and you'd be good.
Close enough. Close enough
What's,
for government work.
What's going on with the backstrap there? Is it gonna? Does it have special grips or something?
Well, the 228 didn't have a. It was part of the grip. It was one. It was a wraparound grip piece.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
It's pretty cool. I'm kind of down. Jeremy, what's your product?
My product is the Hackett equipment. What do they call it? The ultimate rucksack. I
Yeah.
believe. It is a big old boy. I know I'm getting far away from the mic, but I gotta like hold this. So this thing's pretty fucking sweet. Has a metal frame. Is probably a little over 2 feet tall.
Dang.
Yeah, it's got pockets and zippers, and it has like the breathable mesh on the back and shit like that. I'm gonna see how much shit I can fit in here.
Does it have a metal
Which we
frame?
wanted to have Sven's in there.
I could probably fit half a Sven.
Damn.
I could probably fit half a Sven. The upper half if I had a machete.
And gross.
But it's hard to talk and hold this thing and open shit. So I'm gonna try to. I might just yell in the direction of the microphone for a little bit.
I mean, it's basically like normal. So
Oh, fuck you.
Wait,
How about
doesn't
that?
you don't have a boom arm or anything with that thing?
Yeah, it's fucking right here, and it goes like this. Watch, look, watch. It's gonna do an impression of your dick.
oh god, it just fell right down.
It just go inside your mouth. So weird.
So we got. So we have. We got the top here. It's got some. Clips and whatnot to hold it down. Big open. Gaping mouth. Has a little.
It's a vagine like a wizard sleeve.
Oh yeah, so it's got like a waterproof type.
Yeah, it's got like a waterproof, like expansion top kind of deal here. It also has one on the inside down here in the bottom that you can access underneath the main storage compartment.
Yeah.
And you can like tie it off if you want to. So there might.
Pull it out, tie it off. Nice.
So you can either make this part of the main storage or you can separate it down here. It's got another, wizard sleeve, as Savage put it.
Yeah.
Oh, it also has a its own internal umbrella backpack waterproof.
Yeah, shield.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it.
That's nice. I
Yeah,
like that.
that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
God
It's
damn it.
pretty. Yeah, it's all internal.
I didn't order one of those, and now I'm kind of pissed because it's awesome.
Yeah,
Does it
so I'm
have,
gonna what?
Does it have like a metal frame?
I said that like first thing.
Oh, okay. Because most rocks have like that metal frame that everything is built off of, right?
Yeah, it's it's like if Savage put this on, it would go from like his the back of his head to his ankles. Because if you little known fact, Savage is only 3 foot tall.
Well, that's pretty actually known.
Um,
Can you?
the only thing I found that I don't like, and maybe just because I haven't fucked with it enough yet, I have not found a dedicated place to hang a Camelback. That's the only thing I haven't found it. It might have it. If the guys from Hackett Equipment are like, yeah, it's in there, like, just tell me where it's at. But I haven't found it yet. That's about the only complaint. I'm like, I'd really like, be able to hang a reservoir in here somewhere.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm gonna fill this thing. I'm gonna pack this thing like my old Molly pack. And every time my wife wants to go walk at the park, I'm just gonna throw this thing on. So walking 3 miles is actually like more fun.
Yeah, that'll actually be pretty cool. So I'm actually kind of jealous because I thought about ordering that, and then I was like, I don't ruck very much, but I do go hiking quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna do like a spare pair of boots, spare clothes, some foods, some camping stuffs. I'm gonna load this pack up. Probably treat it like a go bag, but just a very big go bag.
Very nice. Alex, what's the gear? Actually, hacketequipment.com. You can save 21% with coupon code WLS is life. Alex, any guns or gear that you gotten recently that you're like super stoked about?
Yeah, actually.
Oh god, everything's falling apart.
Right? My hastily put together set. So I am a huge fan of the BRN 180S.
Yes.
10.5 inch.
Oh, I got one of them.
Pistol length. AR 180 upper.
Yeah.
I've got mine on one of our builds in development, this dedicated BRN 180 lower, and an SB tactical folding brace. So yeah, it's my new favorite thing.
That's the brace you went with?
Yeah,
Is
that's the brace I went with.
Four.
It's the 1913, their polymer one.
So Jeremy's just saying that because he ordered the SB triangle.
Yeah, I ordered
the folding
3 of
triangle.
those, and I'm not going to get them for like another 3 months. This is what I had on hand. And
My buddy
I like
ordered
it. It's just not my favorite.
Yeah.
My buddy had to go to SB Tactical's website to order his triangle brace for his PC charger, and he got it in. I'm like, let me see that. And I immediately went over and put it on my BRM 180, and he's like, whoa, motherfucker.
Dude, they're they should be coming out really soon on Brownells, I think.
Hopefully they can sort out their logistics and post Corona business and get everything back in order pretty quickly. Because we've got like a new lower that doesn't need a buffer like every other day. So like you saw the Tech 9, we've got a pick rail on the back here for one of those. The Mac 10 has an adapter here. We can swap it out for a pick rail one and use it on that. So it's just nice. And like I like the CAC blade, but it's not great.
I don't like the CAC blade.
I liked it when it first came out.
Right.
Yeah.
I've got they were great in the very beginning. Now they've been sort of superseded by other products.
Yeah.
So and then like we got, this thing here.
Oh shit, son.
So
That's like
I've got
PBW.
Wow, that looks kind of painful though.
Yeah, it's not as long as it needs to be. It could be a little further out there, but for the first pass, this is in my personal development, this brace here. So, or the adapter here, but stuff like this.
I want one.
We're doing something every other day. So,
Can I get one? I want one.
That's pretty awesome, man.
Yeah. Print one
I
out,
will
dude.
send you the file as soon as it's done.
I don't have a 3D printer.
Well, then you should follow the guide.controlpew.com. If you want to get a 3D printer.
Well, see, okay, so the money that would cost me is actually what I'm investing into a chicken coop. So I can't. It's either get chickens that will give me eggs every day, or give me a 3D printer which I can print eggs, but they're not going to be as tasty.
Aaron only cares about the vent.
I mean, well, PLA is supposedly like corn syrup in a weird sort of polymer. So you could technically eat it and sustain yourself on it. So, I mean, it's really up to you.
I think the chicken might be a better choice.
Hard pass.
Come on. No, it's all good.
So Corey B says, I was a security guard at the Winter X Games and had to bust some old grungy dude sucking vodka out of a hydration pack. Wouldn't have been a big deal if he wasn't causing too many shenanigans. The funniest part is when he threw up all over the cop who picked him up. Whoops, LMAO. Carolina said, not that it's important, but I'm open to providing information on how to size yourself to fit a rock pack. It's not rocket science, but I just want to put it out there. Aaron, get a 3D printer, says Bob F.
Bob, why don't you give me a 3D printer?
Wow.
It's like I'm getting fucking chickens. Okay. I was a toss up between chickens or bees.
Okay, first of all, chickens cost like $4.
Right, but I gotta get a chicken coop, and then
And you can make money off of them because you can sell a dozen eggs for $3 or $4 a pop.
Dude, we
like,
eat.
There's a branding opportunity here. WLS eggs.
You know what a dozen eggs go for off a porch here? It's like $1.
Right, yeah. I mean, I
Dude,
won't make.
Near me, they're doing it for $3.
All I know is I eat a lot of
Fucking
eggs.
highway robbery.
I like eggs.
So I don't like eggs, but I did have chickens and they were an amazing pet.
Yeah, and I have that whole where I have the orchard at is where I'm going to put the chicken coop. So
Sean loves it because he's like, hey, if an egg can fit in there, why can't I?
Dude, an egg can fit in there, why can't 7 of I?
So they're gonna have tons of space to run out, and
No, cock is doodle doo.
Fuck you, Savage. Too far. Too fucking far.
With chickens.
What you gonna do now?
Really, Sean just like saying, do you want to pet my cock, my pet cock?
I didn't have any roosters. I wanted to make sure.
That wouldn't stop you.
No one you brought around knew the difference. It's fine.
No, they didn't. They were like, oh, those are awesome roosters. And I was like, okay, but I'm not gay because I don't. Never mind. Whatever. Chickens are good pets. I like them a lot.
I hear, chickens are actually like they will follow you around, and
Dude. So when I had chickens, like I was doing IT stuff then, I used to literally go back out in my little sitting area by the hot tub and just sit with my legs up, and the chickens would just come and like sit on my legs and roost there for like hours while I worked. They're awesome pets.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm gonna dig the chickens. I just it's gonna be for my birthday coming up. That's gonna be my gift to myself.
So diatomaceous earth is a thing that you need to buy.
That's what you feed the chickens.
No, it's something that you put like all over their food in their area. Like basically it's diatoms, and it'll prevent a lot of just like bacteria and all kinds of other stuff, and they'll eat it, and it's good all around. So diatomaceous earth, it's pretty cheap from like farm supply stores. Then just get the chicken pellets, clean their coop pretty often, make sure they have a good place to lay, and they'll brood occasionally, but they're awesome.
Awesome. I can't wait.
All right. So I put so much time and effort into learning about chickens when I had them. So any questions you have, I'm in.
Cool, man. I will definitely peck your brain.
I remember one time. I remember one time our 2 farm dogs killed a mama raccoon and 5 of her babies.
Okay.
My dad threw them in a 5-gallon bucket for a week.
The dogs? That's fucked up.
No, the dead raccoons. All
Okay.
5 dead raccoons in a 5-gallon bucket. But filled it up, and he just let it sit in the barn with a lid on it, but like the little pour spout open. And after about a week, it was nothing but maggots.
Oh no!
We had about 300 chickens at the time. My dad walked over in the middle of 300 chickens, set this bucket down, and just went boonk and kicked the fucking bucket, and bucket of maggots and bones.
Were you 14?
And every chicken in the vicinity descended upon this 5 gallons of maggots for about 10 seconds, left like a fucking swarm of piranhas, and there was nothing but a little bit of fur and some bones, and that was it.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. So chickens, they will eat anything, and they are awesome pets.
We had
basically
guinea
plant
hens.
rocks. But go ahead. You had guinea hens? Is that what you had?
We had guinea hens as like alarms around the property. So
Okay.
you just release like a dozen of them, and they're like very small peacocks. And if anything comes up the driveway or around the house, we had one that literally slept on the front porch on an old golf bag, and if you try to walk up on the porch, it was like, "Bah!"
So Aaron, as a weird flex,
people would think it was like a statue because we called him Gunther, and it was a female. We called it Gunther. Gunther be sitting there, and somebody walk over like, that bird looks oddly still, and they get real close and you go, Fucker lived for about 10 years.
Aaron, what you have to do is I used to cook the chicken eggs that we didn't use and feed them back to the chickens.
Oh man, that's fucking evil.
Oh, and
They do it on their own. They do it on their own.
yeah, whenever we would eat chicken and not eat it all, the leftovers all went to the chickens.
Oh, okay. That's good to know.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
scrap food, all that shit.
Like
Chicken.
feeding pigs bacon.
Dragon Arcadia said, Shawn, do chickens do okay on their own or they need to be in a group? So I had them in a group. I also had one by itself. She did fine. Her name was Daisy. And she actually, I'm pretty sure she killed the one that we bought with her. And I'm pretty sure she killed one of the other ones as well. So she was a cripple because a bird bath fell on her leg and she walked with a limp, but she was a mean bitch and she ran shit.
I like how this turned into we like chickens.
we got another listener who does chickens or is working on Jonathan Rusnak.
Hey, Red, I hate guineas too, but that's a different kind.
Whoa. All right. So
Wow, you know what?
Oh Jesus!
Brownells has ammunition in stock. They got a bunch of wolf stuff in, which I've actually shot quite a bit of lately. I have no complaints whatsoever. They've got SMB 65 Creedmoor. They've got American Eagle 556. They've all kinds of stuff. We already talked about the BRN 180, which is some of their throwback stuff, which is pretty awesome. So go check them out, brownells.com. Aaron, what did you want to talk about tonight?
Before I get to Brownells also has a lot of surplus guns right now too. So if you're looking for an old surplus,
Like what?
well, of course they have the Beretta. It looks like they have some Sig Sauer surplus too. Oh, it's out of stock. I'm sorry, but definitely if you're interested in a Beretta, what else do they have? AR-15, M16 surplus mid-length handguards. So if you want some classic looking or used handguards, they will have those as well.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what did you want to talk about tonight?
I wanted to talk about chickens, but apparently everyone else fucking wanted to talk about what was it, Boog Culture?
Oh yeah, okay. So I guess I put this in there. So some Hawaiian professor reporter posted a thing talking about the like Hawaiian shirts is racist and these people want a civil war and so on and so forth. And literally slide or tweet 11 out of 13 was a picture of me in a Hawaiian shirt.
Get the fuck out of here!
No, dude, do you not look at any of our social media?
No, I honestly don't. What the
Okay.
fuck are you talking about? Put that shit up full page.
So he called us out as basically racists and Nazis and said that we want a civil war. And I think that he could not be more wrong. Like that's not what any of this means whatsoever. I'm going to find the post here in just a second. But I'm also like, of all the people in the universe to like go after and call racist and Nazis, like we're not the guys. Like we have 8+ years of reaching out to every color, creed, race, religion that there is. If you look at our Facebook page, it's like me and Ursula Williams, who is a black lady competition shooter.
I have black friends too. That's what Sean's saying.
I mean, like I didn't put that there. It's been there for years, and I don't even care. So what the comment was, I'll throw it up on screen as soon as it loads here. Yeah. So Reese Jones is a Hawaiian professor. Blah blah. Dumb fuck. Says so when you see far right protests with igloos and aloha attire, they're saying that they're ready to fight the second civil war, and I'm like, that's so fucking stupid. And not even close to being actually what the case is. I'm like the Boogaloo, the whole theme of everything is like rising up against a tyrannical government. It has nothing to do with racism. It has nothing to do with anything like that. It's like
it's all a meme.
Yeah, it's a meme. Like the Boogaloo, the big luau, the next Tremors movie. The like.
I wish there was another Tremors movie.
Yeah,
I don't know. The last one wasn't very good.
I know, I like a good one.
Dude, I love them all. The third one is the worst.
Yeah, second was awesome.
We've been called.
1 and 2 are the best.
Yeah,
I agree with that. So we've been called Nazis. We've had our address to the studio published. We've been called racists.
Are you fucking
really?
kidding me?
Oh yeah.
Who published your address?
What asshole doxed you guys?
I saw a tweet that had
I'm gonna guess communists.
it's public. It's public. It's not like a crazy thing. Which is why I have Nick right next to me here. But
I'm surprised they weren't wildly in support of you guys, given the AK you were shooting with the hammer and sickle on it.
that's what I was like. I was like, aren't you idiots confused? But there's so much nonsense. And I'm like, dude, that's not what it's about. It has nothing to do with racism. Have racists co-opted the Hawaiian shirts and stuff? Sure. Yeah, without question. Like, absolutely. But that's not what this is about at all. This is a rising up to a tyrannical government. Like this is rising against a tyrannical government. It's Paul Revere and George Washington. It's all that and more. And that's what the Boogaloo movement is. Like, Alex, what do you think? To you, what is the Boogaloo movement?
I mean, I feel like it's a little. It's kind of a morbid joke, and so people like me, and you see the same sort of sense of humor with the vet community, with a lot of retired law enforcement. It's kind of a dark sense of humor, and so we joke about death and things that normal people don't really joke about. And so the Boog to us is kind of that kind of a joke. We're like, okay, this is kind of funny, this is kind of bad, but whatever, we're gonna laugh about it because what else can you do? And then there's another side of it where it's what do I want to say? Where it's a warning almost to a potentially tyrannical government, to to those who would use force to oppress other people. Yeah. And to me, just that statement right there, it's about individual freedom. It's about actual liberty.
Yeah. It's basically zombie hunters from 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I guess, but like look, I'm not saying there's not bad representatives of Boogaloo or the Hawaiian shirts and shit, but that's not what it's about. It's not about racism. It's never been about racism. They used a picture of me shooting my AK in a video that has nothing to do with the Boogaloo. It's literally like Nick and I, we say we're Boogaloo training with quotes, and it shows us like standing on barrels and falling down in the dirt. And
it's the dumbest shit, just people goofing off and having fun. I mean, fuck off.
Well, it started as American Civil War II, Electric Boogaloo. And then they're like, all right, the Fed boys are onto us. We got to change the name. It's now the Big Igloo. And you're like, oh, and then it's like, oh my God, it's the Big, we're changing it to the Big Igloo. And then it's the Big Luau. Well, since it's the Big Luau, they're going to have uniforms. We need uniforms. Our uniforms should be Hawaiian shirts because it's the Big Luau. And they're like, oh no, because it was flannels, right?
Yeah.
When it was the Big Igloo, it was a flannel. And then it became the Big Luau. It's like, oh, uniforms changing to Hawaiians, boys. And it just became a fucking meme, and it's gone through like 6 iterations by now.
And when you actually go to Hawaii and you go to a luau and you wear a Hawaiian shirt, ain't nobody giving a fuck about that and calling you like, taking over their culture because you're participating, for fuck's sakes.
Yeah, I know. I can't wear my ghost costume anymore with the big pointy hat because people are like, "That's racist." I'm like, "No, I'm a ghost, motherfucker."
So the guy that actually posted this is Reese Jones at Reese J Hawaii. Says author of Violent Borders, professor and chair Department of Geography and Environment, University of Hawaii, editor-in-chief of Geopolitics. And this guy, yeah, like he literally calls us out for being racist.
Does it say like biased progressive?
No,
up there, because I feel like that should be up there.
It's pretty apparent. So yeah, I mean, like I've had death threats. We've had our address published to the studio, and I'm like, I mean,
oh, fuck around and find out, motherfuckers.
Yeah. Like we are not the fucking.
I will fight you. Please come find me. I will fight you.
We're not the ones to fuck with, and it has nothing to do with racism. It's stupid. Like the people who are out there protesting, which we're going to talk about in just a couple of minutes, like the protesting is one thing. Looting, you're a piece of fucking shit, opportunist, and like you deserve everything that's coming to you. The people who are protesting against government tyranny, that's what that whole Hawaiian shirt is all about. Like
I kind of want to get into this whole discussion about looting versus rioting.
We will.
I want to do it right now. I want to do it. Let's go over there.
We're going to talk about it in a minute, but I just wanted to point out, like the Hawaiian shirts, that is not about racism. Like racists wear Nikes and racists shop at Old Navy and racists drive Fords and Dodges. and that's not the only thing that they do.
They also wear Hugo Boss. Just saying.
Hugo Boss.
I use Hugo cologne. Does that make me a racist?
Yes.
God damn it! All right, well I'm okay with that. I live in Howell, Michigan, so I guess we're all racist here. I heard we're gonna get burnt down.
Yeah. So it's stupid. Like, and the comments and reactions and like retweets, people just lap this shit up like milk. Like, it is the most ridiculous thing that I've ever seen ever. And yeah, this guy, he's clearly a fucking moron. And I've taken him to task a few times on Twitter, and he doesn't respond to anything. So, but he's posting like the Boogaloo will be monetized and links to Amazon patches and stuff from the Boog Boys, and like it's not what it's about whatsoever. And don't let fucking people convince you that that's what it's about, because that's nothing to do with it.
Though in one of the stories, there are some people that are trying to take it on and make it into that kind of a thing. The Boog Boy. Yeah, but it's not representative of anybody else except for them.
There's people that use AR-15s for evil, and that doesn't mean that all AR-15s are evil. It doesn't mean that even, I mean, how many people in this country own AR-15s and don't use them for anything bad? They use them
just about everybody.
Like this right here, this AR-15, this short-barreled rifle with the suppressor. This is my home defense gun. This gun goes with me in the car. It goes to my home. It goes to the office. And as long as people want to call me Nazi, racist, whatever it is, whatever, fucking bring it. Like,
it's been brought.
I've got cameras, fucking motion sensors. Like,
you know, I have motion sensors, but I also have emotion sensors.
That's good.
Right? Yeah, because I can tell.
You can tell what
the emotion is. Like, it's like a mood ring almost.
Do you guys think that Boogaloo Culture is racist?
Nope.
No. By and large, no.
No. There's certainly a slice that's been that exists where we got to be, black people, whatever. But 99.5% just don't care.
Yeah, it's just like any other thing where people are trying to co-opt it or make it out to be, it's misrep. I mean, it's.
Well, they have to call us racists if they're going to push it as a far right ideology.
Yeah. Not everything is racist. Some things are. Most things aren't.
It's really annoying. It's Reese, REECEJ Hawaii.
Is this guy tenured? I wonder.
Probably.
This is either a weak attempt to get tenure, or I want to say a really, really. He's already got tenure and he's just phoning it in now. It's like, I don't have to work for my job anymore.
I'll throw it up on the screen here, Savage. But yeah, I mean, feel free to tweet this guy. Like, this is not what it's about. And
we wouldn't need tenure. The fucking humanities and fucking liberal arts are full of people that are renowned communists and are not at worry of losing their job. It's part of, like, it would if you came out and said, liberty is the utmost thing that you should be worried about in your life, you would get fired.
I know, he's got a boog beard. He must be racist.
Well, his whole thing is like, he's like, with growing alarm, I've watched armed white men protesting around the U.S., but as a Hawaii resident, I've wondered specifically about the reoccurring presence of aloha shirts. Here's a thread explaining the odd and concerning history behind it. And he just throws nothing but racism out. And I'm like, you fucking moron. Like, you literally standing up against the tyranny of government, standing up the tyranny of a police state, standing up against the tyranny of police brutality, standing up against everything in the universe is everything that Hawaiian shirt represents. It's standing up against a tyrannical government. Think Paul Revere. Think about George Washington. Think about all those things. That is what that represents. It's the Tea Party of our day is wearing those shirts. Do racists wear them? Yes. The same way they wear Nikes. Like, it has nothing to do with it. That's not what it's fucking about. And you're just a goddamn idiot because you've bought in, Reese Jones, to the exact same stuff that all the other idiots have bought into. Like, you look for racism because that's all that you want to see.
I want a celebrity box this whiny cunt.
Yeah. I want you to as well. All right, let's move into the news. Here we go. This is Going Ballistic. It's brought to you tonight by Polymer 80. Nope, it is not brought to you by Polymer 80. It is brought to you by, where am I? Bowers Group. That's who it is. Sorry.
Yeah, you don't want Tom calling you again, man.
Man, I miss Tom. He's been super busy lately, and yeah, Bowers Group makes cans. They make suppressors, some of the best ones that I actually have. And I've got lots of listeners who've bought Bowers Group suppressors through me. Jeremy, you use them to rent. How are they holding up?
Other than an end cap strike, that was my fault. Pretty good.
Yeah. How do they sound on the indoor range?
That's real hard to tell. That is not a good way to judge.
It is. So just kind of wondering, because like I've been trying to figure out how to objectively categorize suppressors outside. So I was looking up all the specs, like how much does decibels decrease, but there's like tone and intensity and so many other things. But I was like, if I have it at 10 feet, 20 feet, 30 feet, 40 feet, how do decibels decrease over that time? And it's like sound theory and sound science is fucking retarded. There's like no constants. Like it's all subjective. And I actually literally had a sound engineer sitting in my office the other day, and we talked about it for quite a while. He's like, you're never going to be able to take like a cheaper sound meter and compare it to like what the advertised decibels are. But what you will be able to do is figure out a very specific formula based on distance from muzzle, distance from ejection port, and you'll be able to basically publish your own standard. So that's we've got some of that in the works. We've purchased some equipment to do that, and it is voodoo. Thank you very much, Zach, for talking it over with me. And he is literally like an engineer that part of his degree was in sound and acoustics and things like that, and he does some very cool stuff. So he said he was gonna think about some ways that they could do stuff with that, and we'll see it. But whether it's the Verse 50 or the Biddy, Bowers Group is awesome. Go check them out. BowersGroup.com. Coupon code is WLS, and it's going to save you money every single time. And honestly, just talk to Tom. He'll tell you what the best suppressor for your application is, even if it's not a Bowers Group can, which I think is hugely important. Savage 1R, take it away.
So, last night was fun. So yesterday, I live in Spokane, as everybody is well know, Eastern Washington State, and there were a number of protests that went on in my state as well as many others. Myself and my wife decided to join some friends and go and walk in the protests that were speaking out against the death of a black man at the knee of a police officer.
No, but, all right, I'm already pissed off at how you're representing that. It wasn't a black man. It was a guy that they got called to the scene, and an officer kneeled on his neck, and he died of asphyxia.
He was black though, right?
He was black.
Who cares?
And I didn't specify that the officer was white. I just was saying that he died from a police officer.
Yeah, he was like,
I mean,
man, I'm going to kneel on your neck till you die. That's not what it was about.
But when you call in, when an officer describes the crime scene, or he's calling it in, he describes the race, he describes height, he describes gender. What?
Did you hear the 911 call?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Wait, I did. They asked what race he is, and he says,
and the person was like, he was like a tall guy. And then they were like, what race was he? And they were like, whatever, I don't know. And then they asked a third time, and that's when they were finally like, oh yeah, black guy.
Yeah, so he's black. So it was identified. So I don't think Savage is wrong. It's just saying it was a black man who was kneeled on his neck by a police officer.
Don't make it like everyone else. Don't make it a racist thing. It was a dude who was having contact with police, and
it was more of a police brutality thing than anything. I'm not saying it's attributable to race. Okay,
but he was black.
I can say it.
Well, okay. Well, don't interrupt me.
Wow.
So, anyways,
a cop killed a man in custody.
Thank you.
Okay. So, anyways, there are people protesting his death at the hands of this police officer, and even a lot of police officers nationwide were against this officer's actions. So I went along with the protest with my wife and some other people that we were acquaintances with, and it was perfectly fine. There were a ton of people there.
People were carrying signs. I got a lot of pictures. You can go on my Instagram account at Savage Noir to see what I saw. I've got some nice panoramas. There was a lot of people there. It was very pleasant interactions with everybody there. Everybody was standing in solidarity that they wanted to end this kind of violence. Great. We went on a walk. We ended up at the courthouse. Everybody, including the police, took a knee. It was very respectful. And at around 3 o'clock, it ended. Done. Everybody said, okay, it's time to go home. We said our piece. We did our demonstrations. Everybody goes home. So entire crowd looked like it was at least a couple thousand people, at least. It was very, a lot of people there. Everybody went home. 3 o'clock. 6 o'clock rolls around. Bunch of unidentified people start showing up downtown Spokane. They start making a lot of noise. They start going to businesses and they start breaking shit. Then they start fighting people. They start trying to break into businesses, and they broke into a Nike and they started looting the Nike. So these were people that were not affiliated with the protests at all. And this is something that we've seen at a number of other protests, not all of them, but a number of other protests across the country where people went and did the protest. It was perfectly fine. And then agitators would come in afterwards and start breaking shit. And what this ends up doing is it ends up really taking away from the message that people are trying to send. It's turning the people who are the legitimate protesters, it's demonizing them because it's making them seem like they're somehow connected to these fuckheads. And it's taking away from the message that we need to come together as a community because it's further dividing the community. It's destroying the community literally by taking down local businesses and hurting other people. So this went on all last night. Honest to God, I've lived in Spokane nearly 30 years, off and on, and I have never in my life heard or seen of a riot in this area, period. It just does not happen. But last night it did, and it's upsetting. I don't think, I'll look at the news tonight. I don't think it's going to happen again here, but it has been happening in a number of other cities, and it has me wondering what the fuck is going on. We've had reports that it was people from Antifa, and we've heard reports that it was people from far-right nationalist groups that are in our specific area. Could have been one, could have been the other, could have been a combination of the both. But again, this does not represent what needs to happen in this country. We have a problem with violence against citizens from authorities, and I think that's something that needs to seriously be addressed in this country. But again, this kind of shit just hurts the message, and it puts the authorities in more of a position to crack down on the population. We've been seeing this with COVID. How much more control can the government take? How much more can they keep us on lockdown? Make everybody wear masks even when it's not appropriate. Dictate how you live your life, and then shit like this comes out. It's just going to give the government more opportunity to crack down, and that's the exact opposite of what we need. We need more transparency. We need less control of the government, and we need less people acting like fucking assholes.
All right, let's cover a few things here. I'll move through them. So last week, I was like, let's wait till more information comes out. I'm not forming an opinion yet. So they had the first initial autopsy, which said that he had a hypertension and heart disease, and it wasn't that. Then apparently there was a secondary autopsy done that said that he died from asphyxia from pressure on the neck and back. And that
blood loss of the brain.
Yeah, that came out today. So having seen the evidence so far, I have to say, like, my opinion has changed. I have definitely come to it was murder. And that includes that George Floyd didn't want to go in the car, that he said he had claustrophobia, that he was dropping on the ground. Originally, they finally at some point put him on the ground, put pressure on the neck, and that's what it was. But 8 minutes 46 seconds. I don't know what they were waiting for.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
That motherfucker wouldn't get in the car because he was whining about fucking being claustrophobic.
Yeah. So
I don't care. I don't care anymore. Fuck it.
I don't think you cared in the first place, to be honest with you.
He dropped to the ground. He wouldn't go in the car. He was making a big deal about it. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like, whatever. Like, put him on the ground. That's fine. Wait for a paddy wagon. Wait for a paramedic. Whatever it is, that's fine. But the knee on the neck, it was too much. And the secondary autopsy says that, and listen, also not forget that this is a celebrity, basically mortician, Baden, I believe is his name. And So my opinion has changed. Like, I think that the manslaughter and third degree murder, I think that's probably very appropriate.
Before you finish on, I just want to point out that the ME changed it to asphyxiation as well today.
The ME did as well. So yeah, like the secondary autopsy.
I mean, it was covering for some shit.
It was interesting. I will say.
Who was it? Was it Sean Maloney that said if he hires an expert for a courtroom, they're going to say whatever he wants them to say?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but because the ME also now says the same thing. So I mean, it's not like
if I'm paying a medical examiner, like, oh yeah,
but the medical examiner, the original medical examiner has changed it to asphyxiation.
Yeah, and of course the guy in the medical examiner for whatever
asphyxia or asphyxiation.
They're going to cover for the cops.
You'll have to read it
because they're working for the state. You know, it's like a protect your own mentality.
I don't know that that's true. I don't know that I believe that. I'm not there yet. But
well, he sure didn't resist changing his opinion once a different one came out.
Sure. Well, I haven't seen that, but I did see that the secondary autopsy said he died of asphyxiation. So at this point, I have changed my opinion. I'm like, yep. I think that it was too far. Alex, did you see this, and what do you think?
I didn't hear about the ME changing his report.
I didn't either. I just saw a secondary.
That whole. So, one, I don't trust celebrity autopsies to begin with. I trust them about as much as I do like the state to cover for the state. You know what I mean? That whole. I don't trust any of it at this point. Like I don't know what the.
We've done an independent review on ourselves and found that we've done no wrong.
Right. I saw the video. I saw the other video, the security camera, and the other one that came out from the other angle. And I don't like outside of that. I don't know what else I trust because all the stories are just absolute crap. And they're either trying to quell the civilian response or cover up some really shady shit.
Yep.
And I don't know which way it should go. I mean, on the one hand, I understand like trying to sort of calm people down so you don't have your city burned to ash, but I don't know.
Yeah. So we're seeing people in the chat saying that he was on drugs. I have not seen evidence of that, but I will say, like last week, I was like, look, I'm waiting for more information to come out. I'm not making a choice right now. I'm not making a decision right now. And I'm gonna see kind of where this goes. But having watched the videos, having read the reports, having like seen the secondary autopsy results, I kind of got to go like, okay, look, the cop was wrong. Was he screaming like "screw you" N-word? No. But at the same time, like he killed an American citizen who was fucking accused of like forgery or counterfeiting or something like that. I mean, have you gotten?
Hang on one second. But let me just read this.
Okay, go ahead.
The Hennepin County Medical Examiner released a new autopsy report Monday, ruling George Floyd's death was a homicide. The office said Floyd's heart and lungs stopped functioning while being restrained by law enforcement officers. Floyd died due to cardiopulmonary arrest complicating law enforcement subdual, restraining the neck and compression. So yeah, he did change it today.
Alex?
Okay, so focusing on that initial incident, if you are in custody, you are in that officer's care, period. So if you die as a result of that care, like there's something to be said there about culpability of the police, and you know, because you're restrained, you're at their mercy at that point. If they're not paying attention to how they're treating you and you die as a result of it, like I feel like that's a criminal act. Like
it should be, but
that's negligence.
That's
criminal negligence.
They arrested him. He's being charged with manslaughter and third-degree murder. Like it is.
Yeah,
So-
the system works. Why are you
Well,
rioting?
here's the problem. This is why they're rioting. 6 years ago, a guy was selling cigarettes illegally in New York.
Do you know his name?
His name was, I do know his name, but I'm under pressure right now, so it's
Okay, that's fair.
but it'll come to me once I'm not thinking all like really hard about it. But he was, and I can't breathe, and he died.
Okay, but let me just say this, Aaron. We're talking about a couple cases. We're talking about 10 cases. We're talking about 20 cases out of the millions of law enforcement contact every year. So like, I get it. I hear what you're saying.
Right, but the thing is,
what about when the cops smoke check that white dude crawling down a hospital or a hotel hallway?
Also wrong.
They killed a white guy in cold blood.
That
But we
was
didn't
absolutely
burn down
wrong.
entire cities from it and say this is indicative.
Yeah, but
of
what's the frequency in
institutional
comparison?
racism against white people,
but
more than black people.
But you have to understand, and that there has been a long history of black people being harassed, being hurt, being killed by police officers. I mean, they're driving while black. I mean, we've all heard these. Eric Gardner, thank you so much. But
hold on, but
we've all heard. I mean, it's an actual phrase, and if I say driving while black, you'll know exactly what I mean. People have been harassed just for being black.
Can we just say that like cops deal with the worst of the worst people that are out there? Like, right? They're not called to like sunshine and rainbows. They're called to criminal activity.
Correct.
And a lot of time in very low income areas, like they are faced with gang members, they're faced with drugs, they're faced with the same kind of stuff over and over and over again. And in a lot of poor areas, like big cities like Chicago, like Detroit, like Minneapolis, like they're probably dealing with a very high percentage of minorities. And can we just say that, like, as human beings, when you're fucking dealing with bullshit constantly, you're probably going to be a little bit biased towards working against those people and not dealing with this stuff as you would if it basically breaks out of that I don't know, breaks out of that mold. Right? Like they're dealing with just the fucking worst thing that you could possibly imagine all day, every day. And so when they get called that someone was passing counterfeit money, they go there and they're like, fuck, it's exactly what everything else is in the universe. And they're like, okay, and now he's resisting arrest, and they would get upset at that. And look, the Derek Chauvin guy, I got nothing in me right now to defend his behavior. Like, it was unacceptable. What's that, Jeremy?
Interracial violent crimes incidents from 2018. See this little tiny one right here, the little short yellow one? That's whites on blacks. This is the real tall one is black on white.
But that's not cops. That's not cops.
And black on his and black.
That's
racial injustice as
institutional. No, we're talking about racial injustice within the system of law.
You're doing between people, between citizens, not between the institutional.
I mean, police officers we're seeing this a lot more. Is first of all, we've seen a huge militarization of our police force with the gear, with what they're training. We're also seeing a lot of more police officers moving with impunity, getting away with a lot more because no knock warrants. They you can keep showing me pictures all you want, Jeremy. I'm looking for the police officer information, buddy.
Yeah, the stats, buddy.
Yeah, you're trying to play on emotions here, and I'm just going with facts. Don't argue like a liberal.
I'm literally just you're like, oh my God, a guy died. Burn it all down.
No,
nobody's saying that.
No, I'm not. I said nothing. I didn't say. Don't put words in my mouth, man. I did not say that.
Whites get killed every year by cops and blacks.
But then find me the stats.
Per capita.
Find me the stats on that. Just saying it doesn't make it a fact. I will 100% believe you if you can show it.
I've had this argument today already.
What is the impunity called? What do they call it? The God.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Now.
I think cops basically when they do stuff.
Some job immunity or something like that.
Wait. I think blue lives matter. I think black lives matter. I think all lives matter.
No lives matter.
I think it's important that we grant people the respect and we stop screwing. They have been a culture of people who have been screwed over by the law enforcement just for being black a lot more than other, and is a social economic thing, and I feel bad for them, and I think I'm not okay with the looting. I'm okay with the rioting. I think that's okay. They have that. I'm okay with protesting, but rioting and fucking. We rioted when we wanted to break away from England. I mean, Boston Tea Party was.
Sorry, I don't understand.
Shut up.
So that link says that so black people have 2.8 times a higher mortality rate than whites when it comes to law enforcement.
Which one?
The one that Shawn put up there.
Oh, I'm looking at here.
NCBI.
FBI 457
Yeah. Black victims
in
were more likely to be
2017.
unarmed, more likely to be unarmed than white victims, and they're 2 times more likely to be shot or killed.
I'm literally looking at a thing at
Wait, hold on.
457
Run that by me one more
white
time.
people killed in 2017,
So-
223 people, black people killed in 2017.
Yeah, but that's not the, that's not
179
the,
Hispanic, 44, and then 2020, 42 whites, 31 black, 13 Hispanic,
yeah,
and then
you're not
other.
looking at the rates. You're looking at straight numbers. So victims were.
I'm looking at straight numbers. Yes.
Yes. So victims were majority white. The straight numbers were more, but disproportionately black, 32%, with a fatality rate 2.8 times higher among blacks than whites. So blacks are
So
dying
they're better
2.
shots when.
No, they're killing 2.8 times more black people than white people rate wise. So
Maybe that's
numbers,
because they get interacted with more due to poverty and crime and gangs in low income neighborhoods.
no, but the
You can't say it's just racist because it's happening.
all right, so you're saying that
I'm not saying it's
so
racist. I'm
that
just saying
being born poor is a death sentence by the police at a
No,
higher
I'm
rate.
not saying being born poor. I'm saying we know that poverty leads to crime. Poverty is is the major leading factor to criminality. Where there's poverty, there is crime. So in poor areas, you're going to have more crime. In more affluent areas, you're going to have less crime.
You're gonna have less convictions because they can afford better lawyers.
No, you have less crime. You have actual less crime.
it also depends on the type of crime too. So
Oh, you're gonna have more white collar versus, more white collar crime and that, embezzling and shit like that. But you have less crime where there's more money. Where there's less money, you have more crime.
And I mean,
Socioeconomic status is like one of the highest defining factors for criminality in an area.
and we see it with we talk about this with gun control and everything else. So really, like, qualified immunity is one of the things that I see as a problem, right?
yes,
Like, without question. Qualified immunity where police don't have repercussions based on their actions is kind of a big deal.
and plus they have
Yeah.
like freaking union paid lawyers, so they don't have to be out a dime. They get paid vacations. I mean, come on. There's got to be real fucking consequences here.
But look,
You're being investigated by your own agencies. So the kid
Yeah.
gloves are on.
yeah. And I'm not saying that like most cops are bad. I really don't. Without question, I do not think that's true. And do I think even this Derek guy was like a bad dude? No, he fucked up and he's going to pay for it for the rest of his life. His wife already filed for divorce.
I mean, and he's fucked up multiple times from what I've seen.
Yeah.
Well, let's not forget that George Floyd fucking was in jail for armed robbery.
Yep.
Like, he was
How
not
long ago?
by any means. Like, who fucking cares?
I don't know. I mean, maybe it matters. Maybe he's changed. I mean, weren't we just talking about forgiving felons once they get out of jail?
He fucked up, and that's okay. But this cop can't fuck up, and
Yeah, but
The difference is apparently the difference though is George Floyd went to prison and served his time. This cop just kept getting slaps on the wrist and kept going.
we don't know that. Can you tell me a source right now that's
Well, he's gotten. I read that he had 2 disciplinary things written against him out of the 17 open or cases that were put against him. 4 were dismissed. So out of the 17, 4 were dismissed. 2 got disciplinary papers. 2 were still open on him, and that's where it was left at. From what I read,
literally, like Chris with formerly of JCAA, he was on the Double Tap last week on Wednesday, and he said that the guy who trains Minneapolis police is they teach that neon neck as a form of
pain compliance. But he didn't know how long they were trained to kneel on people's neck and when was the proper time to get off, because there was 2 police officers on the man's legs and holding him down. So I mean, technically,
you've got a man in custody. You're still responsible for his well-being when you're done.
If he's got cuffs on, it's not rocket science to fucking restrain somebody who's flat on their face.
Yeah. I mean, so I saw like on a chalkboard, there was a bunch of people's last words, and it was a bunch of black people that had been victims of police brutality. And I was like, okay, so that's like maybe 10, 15, 20 And how many hundreds of thousands of contact are there with gang members and things like that? And I'm not saying black people, I'm just saying like in general criminals every year. So is this number actually very high? I don't know. And last week I said, look, without question, I am not taking sides. I am not doing anything else. I'm literally only trying to collect information. After that second autopsy came out, I'm like, look, he's guilty. It's murder, manslaughter, whatever it is. I don't know. I'm not smart enough to understand that, but like, yeah, he is culpable in George Floyd's death.
I think that people have a right to be angry about this, and because it has happened in the past, and
You can be angry.
yeah,
for sure.
You don't have a right to burn buildings down.
See,
Yes, correct.
I think it's okay. Listen to me, and before you judge this whole statement, I think it's okay to rise up against the tyrannical people who are holding you down, not your neighbors. I don't
That's
agree.
weird because they keep voting for him every year.
They did that, and Aaron,
The
that's
tyrannical people holding them down. They're
Well,
the people
that's-
they vote for every year.
That's all we have to choose from. Both sides are tyrannical, Jeremy. All sides are tyrannical.
Target never held him down. The bookstore in Minneapolis never held.
Right. I said voting.
not talking about
Everyone. I'm saying everyone you vote for is tyrannical. There's no. Everyone is out for their own. To every politician's out to express or gain more power is what it feels like to me.
Not necessarily, but to call every politician tyrannical, I think, is unfair. Just like calling every cop a murderer is unfair.
I listen. There's a difference.
Calling
but
every Democrat a communist is pretty fair.
No, it's not. It's just rhetoric. but I understand. Yeah, Shawn, they have no right to burn down the bookstores. They have no right to break windows. They have no right to hurt the businesses. They don't.
Fuck them.
Here's a question. Right?
Yeah.
You have protesters and rioters, and they're burning down the police station, the courthouse, the institutions of justice that support the action being taken against them.
Totally fine with that.
Yeah,
Totally fine with it? Okay.
Not so much a problem with that.
Honestly,
So we're all in kind of the same boat.
yeah. When they burned down
I'm okay with that. Yeah, exactly.
the 5th district or wherever that guy was a PD, they burnt that shit down. I was like, all right.
Yeah.
I was like,
Tea party.
I was like, get after it, girl. Like whatever you want.
Have you seen the meme going around? The 3rd precinct died of COVID or something.
I mean, back in
They
the
had a very high temperature.
I mean, fine with it, but I'm like, at least that makes sense. Like, I'm not fine with
it's intellectually consistent.
yeah.
Okay, so with that
So
in
like,
mind,
well, like back in the 70s, New York lost control of parts of New York City. There were no-go zones in New York in the 1970s for police officers, and those areas were, I mean, just crime-ridden. Now, if you want to go ahead and try and be, you police your own community, hey, kick the cops out, kick the government out, police yourselves, all for it. Don't start fucking crying when the fucking crime rate skyrockets. That's all I'm saying. Be consistent.
okay, so
If they want to try it, go for it.
Here's now something. There's always a cause and effect. Okay, so the cause is the riots and stuff, but the effect is suddenly the military is called in. Okay, and we're pretty anti-military. I mean, I don't want the military walking down my streets, policing my neighborhoods. Not that it'll happen here, but it just in general. I mean, this is the stuff that we always talk about. What would cause you to stand up against the government?
Well,
Would the military be walking down the streets, just maybe disarming people, or at least
we saw this morning.
If you put infantry in the field against civilians, we're basically at war at that point.
We saw this morning. I don't know if it was National Guard or local Minneapolis PD, but they were walking down the street. A Humvee drives by, then a bunch of guys in armor drive by. There's people standing on their fucking private property, on their porch.
Yep.
And the fucking whoever it is in the street is yelling, "Get in your house! Get in your fucking house!"
Light them up.
They light them up and they shoot them with paintballs. I'll tell you what.
Boog.
Yeah, that's non-starter.
Yeah, you don't fucking do that, and they're lucky that they didn't take rounds back. I'll say that right fucking now.
Yeah, I mean, this is the point where we start actually. This is what really sets it off right here. Is de-escalation. It needs to be a de-escalation, not an escalation.
Yeah.
And this is yes, I understand having police on the streets and having the National Guard out there to protect businesses, but when they start encroaching on our freedoms and our rights, fuck
They're
that.
walking down fucking suburban streets, and I swear to God, like I swear to God, there's not going to be. So in that video, they say light him up. They shoot him with paintballs or whatever it is, and they go back in the house, and the camera turns to the guy, and the guy or the girl, and he's wiping like the paint off his leg. You know, just like that pain that you get when you get hit with a paintball or something. Like there's not that. Like you fucking if they are in the street shooting at me on my private fucking property, like there's real rounds going back. I gotta say, without question, like that I cannot fucking believe that is America. And fuck them. They deserve everything they get back. And
I keep seeing. Sorry, go ahead.
No. I'm like, if you want to say that's the Boogaloo, fuck you. Yeah, that's the Boogaloo, bitch. That's rising up against the tyrannical government, going down your fucking street with the property you own, rent, lease, whatever it is. Yeah, you're fucking taking rounds back.
I keep seeing a bunch of different instances of like the riot police behind what is generally a peaceful gathering, shooting tear gas and rubber bullets into the back of the crowd. I like stuff like that isn't sitting well with me personally, and like I'm in a couple pretty libertarian groups, and it's from their perspective, like they're pretty middle of the road, but they're even trending into the all cops are bad territory, and it's hard to like justify or try and like understand what's going on in that sort of decision making process of like, I'm going to launch a tear gas canister to this crowd.
Yeah,
You
well,
know,
there's definitely aspects of instigation by the police, and we again, you know, in
You see a cop who grabbed that guy's cell phone and throw it on the ground, and then the guy just
Get knocked out.
knocked that fucking cop out. I mean,
that's funny, but like over here, like there's an interview on the news of a student that goes to a local college where I've been to before, and he was just sitting there, you know, talking with his friends, got 2 fucking rubber bullets in him from the cops for not doing anything, not a fucking
Motherfucker,
thing.
if you're gonna stand near a riot, you better expect to catch some rubber bullets.
It was down. It was down the street.
Remember that
down
scene in
the street.
Tombstone? This fight's commenced. Get the fighting or get the fuck out of the way.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, dude, if you're protesting, if like you're out there and you're okay.
If you're hurling shit at the cops, if you're trying to break shit, I get it. But if you're not doing a fucking thing and the cops shoot you twice,
motherfucker, they missed that shit, went sailing. Get the fuck out of the area.
No,
if you're not there to fucking, if you're not there, get the fuck out of the area.
what about the amount
Get
of
inside,
press?
get away
all
from
that
it.
aside, so Christian put in the chat here, right? The Minnesota cop drive-by OC spraying the crowd at a crosswalk.
Yep, that was
Shit
fucked
like that. That like I don't know what decision-making process did you go down to get to this is a great fucking idea. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like arresting the press, you know,
Yeah, we
press,
saw that.
credentialed press people getting
Yep.
arrested. That's fucked up. I mean, that's a constitutional right, freedom of the press, and they're fucking, you know, the government is going in and taking them out as well. It's like, come on.
We'll see about that. Like maybe they were told to move back. Maybe they were told whatever.
Well,
And
the guy was the CNN guy was standing there. He's like, just tell me where you want me to
There
go.
was
and
the
I'll
camera.
Go there.
There was
They
the
didn't say
camera
anything.
right there.
Yeah.
He's got a microphone in his fucking hand. He's like, hey, what's up, guys?
there's a lot of fucking up going on. So let me just put this to you real quick. You're a cop.
I'm a
You're
cop.
a good
Okay,
cop.
I'm gonna fucking. Let me just take a knee here. Oh wait, I'm sorry, that's too soon.
You're a cop. You're doing what you're supposed to do. You're doing your job. Like you care about this, right? Like you're like, yeah, the shit in Minneapolis should not have happened. Like you care about this. You care about people. You care about whatever it is. Because I know a ton of cops and they're good people. And Aaron, so do you. You know a lot of the same cops I do.
Yeah,
And you know they're fucking good people.
yeah.
We would literally, like, I would take a bullet for those guys without question. Some of them.
But Shawn, let me ask you a legit question. Do you know any bad cops?
No.
Okay, I do. I know cops that are fucking just assholes.
I mean, but you know, there were examples of really good cops across the nation. You know,
Yeah.
Like yesterday,
There needs to be promoted too.
Yeah, there was a cop that the sheriff
that was talking with the protesters, say, hey, we totally sympathize with you. We're on your side. This guy does not represent what we did. And he walked with them. They all protested together.
I mean, that happened in Michigan.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
It was fucking beautiful.
There was no fucking violence. There was no
Yeah.
looting, there was no rioting. There was protesting. So,
Yes.
Aaron, we know cops. We know a lot of good cops. We know a lot of dudes who do the right thing and they care about this shit. And that's it. So you're out on the fucking street and you're dealing with people. There's some people who are doing the right thing, and then there's a bunch of people who are doing the wrong things, and they're throwing rocks, they're throwing bricks, whatever. Here in Colorado Springs, 2 nights ago, fucking like downtown, there was people protesting, which I'm totally down with. Like, protest the shit out of stuff and wear your Hawaiian shirt just in case that tyrannical government rises up. But they were doing, and then they started throwing rocks at the cops and shit. And so the cops deployed tear gas. So Aaron, put yourself out there. You almost were a cop. That's what you thought you wanted to do with your life. You're out there. You're doing the right thing because I know you, Aaron, and I think you'd be a good cop. I think you'd be righteous. I think you'd be fair. I think you would do the right things whenever you possibly could. And you're out there and you're like, holy fuck, this is my job. This is my life. This is the thing that I believe in. And suddenly you're faced with some fucking little shithead throwing a brick at you, throwing shit at your cop car, throwing Molotov cocktails, whatever it happens to be. Like, Aaron, as you, what do? You turn the other cheek? Fuck that. I know you. You don't turn the fucking other
my goal would be to get home safely to my family. And if someone's using lethal force against me, I will use lethal force against them.
Exactly.
However,
If somebody says something he doesn't agree with, he will never let it go.
Actually, that's true.
There's no however, though. You will do what you need to do to get home to your 3 sons and your wife every single time, and that you cannot fault people for doing that. So we talk about OC spray, we talk about people like fucking police brutality. This is them against them. Like, there's no excuse for it. Like, there is people out there committing crimes, setting shit on fire, destroying cop cars, throwing Molotov cocktails, shooting, doing all these different things. And Aaron, you're just trying to get home. So you can understand where that adversarial relationship comes out, right?
Yeah. But I also understand, knowing a lot of police officers, that they have a mentality of, I'm not, I can speed. I'm a cop. I can go through, I can do this, I can do that, because the law doesn't always apply to me. And then seeing the shit with the paintball, the pepper spray, a lot of poor decisions going on. And
there is, but when you think about it and you think about how many police contacts there are every single day in the United States, there's probably tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands. I don't know what the number is. And then we hear about, 30, 50, 100. Like, it's a small percentage. It's just like the same amount of people that there's how many AR-15 owners in the United States and how many people use them for evil. Right. Like, we don't want to be fucking criticized for people who use AR-15s wrong. So we can't expect cops to be criticized for cops who do shit wrong. Like, yeah, there's fucking bad people.
It's the perfect storm right now, though.
Let me ask. So,
by all means,
if we're not, if we're gonna give the benefit of the doubt, and we're not gonna scrutinize the incidents to the level, that the public should really be looking at this, the cops have to turn on their own and turn in the bad cops and get rid of them.
Exactly.
Yeah, and we're not seeing that happen.
There's the blue line, or there's that thin blue line that they won't cross.
Just like when you talk about the criminal element, it's a very small group of people that are doing the bulk of these bad actions, and they make a bad name for everybody else.
Let me interject, because I'm ex-military. I just about walked down the law enforcement line. I had some other opportunities that presented that deviated my course in life. Had they not, I'd probably be in law enforcement right now. I'm talking to a couple guys who are in the Instagram circuit. They're in Richmond today. Peaceful rally, 6:30. They began to march with the main crowd. 7:15, they got to the Lee Monument there in Richmond, and they took their knee, and a couple people were getting up speaking. 7:30, police sped down Monument Avenue, 70 in a residential, fired a couple dozen tear gas canisters into the crowd. Right, and keep in mind, up until this point, this has been a peaceful demonstration, by all reports that I've got. This decision making? What is this logic? I don't understand this. This is why people get on the all cops are bad bandwagon, because this department must. I would assume from the outside that the department signed off on this action. Like, okay, go for it.
Right. Well, I mean, and listening to not to be a Trump basher, but listening to the call today, and him saying, we need to quell the protests. We need to hammer down. If you refuse to get the National Guard involved, I will send the military in. I mean, that stuff like that is just insightful. Again, it's not de-escalating; it's escalating, and that's what exactly the opposite of what we should be doing right now.
So let's think about the actual world as it stands right now. We've been under quarantine, business struggling. And now governors are like, oh yeah, we're not doing a fucking thing. We're just letting people do whatever the fuck they want. And let's be honest, there's a difference between protesters and / rioters and looters.
Correct.
Like, if you're out there fucking protesting, like I'm wearing my Hawaiian shirt because this is rising up against a tyrannical government. If you're out there protesting, yeah, you're fucking right. Like Philando Castile, George Floyd, Eric Garner, none of this shit should have ever fucking happened. Yep. And it's a problem, and it should happen. But if you're out there and you're busting down the fucking windows in a Target, if you're doing whatever, and I don't care what it is. Like if you're out there and you're committing crimes, and I'll be perfectly honest. So my daughter posted some shit on Facebook, and she's like, if someone killed my son, I was like, you're a fucking moron. You're fucking stupid. Like you don't go out there. That's not how you go for justice. Because if someone killed you, I wouldn't be out fucking looting a Target. You fucking moron.
Right, I'd be looting ATMs, which is much smarter. I
wouldn't be looting anything. I would be.
I understand
that actually has a fucking effect on stuff.
Right.
And I was ashamed of her for the first time because she's talking this nonsense, and there is no excuse for that whatsoever. If you're out protesting and you're peacefully protesting, you can be fucking mad. I'm not saying fucking hug a cop and give a cop a flower. I'm not saying any of that stuff whatsoever. I'm saying be fucking mad and make a fucking difference, because when you're fucking stealing TVs out of a Best Buy, or you're stealing prescriptions out of a Target pharmacy, you're a fucking piece of shit and you deserve to be eliminated. Like
Agreed.
That is how I feel 100%.
I think the looting is fucked up. Agreed.
Yeah, you're a fucking criminal piece of shit, and you're exactly why cops need to be out there, and exactly why cops need to do with whatever they're going to do against people who are like that. If you're out there protesting, if you're out there for the right reasons, and I'll be perfectly honest, look at Virginia, look at Michigan. We've had 2A protesters, rallies, things that out there. And not only was no one ever hurt, no property was ever destroyed. They picked up their trash after they were done. That is not the same as some of these people. And I'm not saying all these people. I'm saying some of these people. It's not the same by any means whatsoever. There's a complete and utter difference in those people. These are people who are protesting for something that they believe in, the Second Amendment, compared to people who are looking for a free way to get the things that they want to get. They don't give a fuck about George Floyd. And I made a joke today and yesterday and the day before. I was like, people in Colorado, they're not protesting because of George Floyd. They're protesting because they thought it was a Pink Floyd rally, and they're all too high to understand the difference. And that's what it is. Like, we've had some fires in Denver. We had tear gas deployed against people in Colorado Springs because they forgot what it was actually about. They forgot that it was rising up against a tyrannical government, against a militarized police force. They were just out there because they wanted to cause a little problems, because they've been confined to their houses for 2-3 months. They've lost their jobs. They're bored. They're fucking sick of all this bullshit, and they're just ready to do something. I'll tell you what, in Colorado, our background checks are fucking up again over 2 hours, and people are buying these guns. So yeah, keep it up, motherfuckers. This is exactly what we in the 2A community want. We want people to realize that there's nobody out there. There's no one going to protect you. There's no one going to show up when the shit hits the fan and everything's out there to get you. You are responsible for your safety. That's why I've got an AR-15 next to me. It's why I've got an AR-15 in my vehicle with me at all times in a backpack. It's why I've got one in my apartment. It's why I've got one in my office. Because if you are protesting for the right reasons, that's great. But if you're not, you're going to catch a fucking bullet.
Here's what I don't get. Okay. Your name tag clearly under your name says Shawn, SHAWN. When fucking people type your name in, it's SEAN. Can't you fucking read, people? Christian. It says Shawn, not Shawn. Fucking get that shit right, man.
Oh.
And that's the thing. I was talking to some of the people in our cult, and I was like, dude, you're a hypocrite. Like, I know you're out there training. I've seen you wear the Hawaiian print, like, and I think you're being a hypocrite. And the bottom line is like, look, if you're out there protesting, that's one thing. The second you break a window, you loot something that's not a police station that was actually responsible for what happened to George Floyd, you're a fucking piece of shit. And I don't care, man. Like, we have been called, and me specifically, been called racist Nazis. I've had my life threatened in the last few days. And I promise, man, I promise, fuck around and find out.
Yeah. What's your next story, Savage?
I think we probably went over the time limit at this point.
Yeah, we did. We're a little bit over time, but let's talk about that last story, the Boog Boy.
Yeah, so it looks like Denver police, there was a guy who considered himself a Boog Boy and was posting some stuff online. The police in the area, they found out who he was. Somebody called in on him, and he had a bunch of firearms in the trunk of his car, which they confiscated. It looks like about 3 ARs, gas mask, a bunch of kit. I don't know, probably some pistols in there. But I don't know. It's one of those things where, I mean, it probably didn't have justification to get him. He was not wearing that gear around, walking kitted up and everything with his firearms to intimidate people. But I don't know. It's kind of one of those things that's on the line. I don't know how I feel about it per se at this point.
Well, I'm pleased to see that he doesn't have any A2 grips on any of his guns, but he is all about the vertical foregrip.
We've
actually very much
about this dude recently. He was the guy who was arguing with his mom in the driveway while wearing, book attire, and he's not like a bad dude. He's just kind of a dumbass, and he's kind of the LARPers that I think we see very often. And yeah, like, they had a trunk full of shit that someone reported them, whatever. The cops showed up. They took all their shit. They held them and detained them for 30 minutes and then let them go. I don't know how they're going to get their shit back. I kind of think this guy's a dumbass. I remember the video that we talked about a few weeks
ago. What they did wasn't illegal.
No, what they did
no.
Illegal.
Yes.
Well, I will say this. In Denver, it's different than here in Colorado Springs, because in Denver...
But they weren't... It's illegal to open carry.
Well, it's also illegal.
It's illegal to open carry in Denver. It's not illegal to have a bunch of equipment in your trunk.
He wasn't
more than 30 round magazines. It's illegal to have, if you're not doing interstate travel, it's illegal to have assault rifles. If you're
Denver
through in your car, like.
Is that a can of CS gas too?
Preemption?
Or is that a smoke canister?
That's smoke.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just popping.
Yeah.
So it's weird because I don't want to defend this dude because I kind of think he's a douchebag. But at the same time, I'm like, they kind of...
The cops were a little...
Well, he can be both.
Yeah.
Yes, it can be both at the same time.
That's part of being free. You can be both a douchebag and not doing anything illegal.
Dragon Arcadia said, if you've ever been caught LARPing in your driveway by your mom, go ahead and hit that subscribe button.
Oh, where's Flannel Dad? That's who we need to have on as a guest, is Flannel Daddy.
So it's true. This Chase, whatever his name is, he's kind of a douchebag, but he's not breaking the law per se. And
he must have been if they confiscated all of his stuff.
No.
Did you get it back?
He concluded by saying, I'm not a bad person, usually a peaceful guy that just wants freedom and liberty for everybody. We'll see if he gets it back. See, even though I disagree with this dude, and I think he's kind of a douchebag and kind of a cunt, I kind of like at the same time support him. I wonder if we can do anything to help out with the attorneys that we know.
The one thing we need to do to help out is if you're looking at the picture of his guns right now.
Yeah.
Look at the bottom rifle. He's fucking his scope rings are on both fucking the front. They go over the receiver.
Oh boy.
They're on the handguard as well.
No, he's beyond help. He's dead to me.
Yeah. It's like, what were you thinking, dude? It's not going to it doesn't work like that.
Oh boy.
Birdcage, fucking, muzzle brakes.
Fucking A2 brakes.
Yeah.
Is that electrical tape wrapped around there?
It might be.
It's got the right sort of shimmer to it, but
It looks that way, but maybe he has a light on there that he's holding down. He can't on the other side. That's all I can think of for like a pressure switch.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, the whole crossing the line. He crossed the line right there.
Zip
Literally.
Yeah, dead to us.
Chevy something is his name. We'll see where this goes. I followed him on Twitter today just because I was kind of curious where it goes from here.
I'm curious.
Yeah, whatever. All right, that'll do it for the news. This is the next section that is brought to you by We Like Shooting, and it is the, what do you call it, Aaron? What do you call it?
What's that? The segue? What are we talking about? I have no idea where we're at.
Reviews.
Oh yeah, that's what it's called.
All right, this is the reviews. Jeremy, why don't you read the first three for us?
Insert generic title here by Galleon, 5 stars. We like shooting quite a bit. Quit fucking.
It just fucked me up too.
Quit fucking clicking on shit. They're a solid resource for no BS information on guns and gear. You will like them too, or else all hail the cult. Oh, and fornicate Savage.
Yeah, fuck you, Savage.
Mm-hmm. Aaron is a bum by
True.
Brett Baker 2.
Yep.
Love the show. Dicks out for Harambe.
Yeah.
Awesome show. Canadian 48205. 5 stars. Love the podcast. Informative and educational.
People are asking for Jeremy, so I feel like we have to.
He just doesn't know how to make a jizz sound.
Positivamente. Jeremy. Positivamente.
I had enough of that baling hay with Mexicans. Jeremy.
It works great. We're just about ready to wrap this up. So, Alex, tell me once again where people can support Control Pew and honestly get involved with 3D printing their own firearms.
Everything you need to begin can be found at controlpew.com. The guide at .controlpew.com. You can support us by printing our shit. Make your own. It's awesome. It's great. Donate Bitcoin to the developers or hit shop.controlpew.com. Pick up a shirt or a patch. Funds go back into the community to support new and awesome shit that we're doing.
Very cool, man. I hope you had fun. I know we have a lot of 3D printers in our audience, so I hope they got something out of it. And if they want to join your community, where do they do that?
Hit Keybase, download their software, create an account. The team is det_disp. That's DET_DISP. Links to that can be found from the site. Conveniently located at all the links. So
Perfect.
go to the site, hit the page.
Did you have fun?
Yeah, it was a ton of fun. Hopefully I was entertaining and not too insane.
Yeah, you were not a big nerd like Savage, so that's all we care about. All right, we have giveaways going on all the time. We like shooting.com/giveaway. You can visit there, and any of the new giveaways you will see. Join a gun-related advocacy group such as the Firearms Policy Coalition, Gunners of America, or Second Amendment Foundation. Holy fuck, I'm drunk as fuck. I don't know what it was.
Shout out to our sponsors.
Yeah, drunk as fuck. We always give out the suicide prevention line. The number is 1-800-273-8255, or I guess as we found out since episode 61, we give out that number. 1-800-273-TALK, or you can text the number 741-741. We're here live every single week on Mondays and Wednesdays and on demand every single day, even if we're not. Go to welikeshooting.com/show to subscribe. As we always say, thanks for listening. Get some medical training and
shoot straight.
Great. Someone said I'm 170. I'm not even close to that, by the way. I'm like a 110. All hail the cult. All hail Alex. All hail Control Q. Nick loves you even though he's not here. He doesn't love you. If he loved you, he'd be here. I think Wizard Sleeve is the name of the show.
Yes,
You guys agree?
I like
Yep.
it.
Wizard sleeve.
Yeah.
Wizard's leave.
Yeah. I wrote it down. I don't remember what it was, but I like.
It's on my backpack.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's right.
Oh, damn, I just shaved it off today.
Your hair?
My beard.
Oh.